Tony.
I like
You are
that
big.
new intro. I like that
Thank
new
you.
intro, bro.
Thank you.
Good
Your mic's
evening.
a
Good
little low,
evening.
T.
Still?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can make an adjustment. Carry on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We got 137 people in the chat, and we're going to say hey to some people. Starting at the top here, we got James, Center Content, Savvy, Darren, Steve, Derek A, Tom, good evening. R. Baglio, what's cracking? John's Touchpad, Tenny Time, what's up, my brother? Tenny Time's in the house. Trevor, Andrew, good evening. PVV, here we go again. Dr. McLovin, what's going on, my friend? Darren, we got Jonathan Thomas, good evening. Captain Billy B, Mr. Simon, what's up, brother? Prometheus, good evening. Bloodwater, Lizzie, Floyd, Six Son. All right, thanks, Tenny Time, appreciate it. There's Mr. Heedy. Stonewall Jackson, good evening. You want to pick up some, T?
Yep, I got the Dan Man. I don't know if you got Doc Zeno, Jordan, what's up? Yeah, I saw you. You already got Mr. Baglio, Cliff Frankenberger. Good afternoon, PDX Dave, Maria Powell, Chris Harris, Captain Billy B. What's going on? Good evening, y'all. Happy Monday. What is today, Mass? January 9th?
Today's the 9th, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Whew.
Yeah.
All right. So you're driving the boat tonight. What are we going to talk about, my friend?
Couple things. Good afternoon, Kiwi Girl. Joanne, good evening. Maximus, Nick. It's just a lot of people in the chat. Good goodness. Good. G Immortal, Carla, J Beebs, D and Demetrius, Hammer, Cliff, PDX Dave, Maria Powell, Chris Harris, and Carl J. Yeah, Mass changed hats. No Boston Red Sox tonight. And Tony's got his cowboy hat on. It's perfect. It's Austin to Boston.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a couple things, right? So I put in the thumbnail, I wanted, let's get Shareintel out of the way. And just what we've talked about in the last 24 hours about Shareintel. What's your thoughts? Why don't you start off, T?
Well, I mean, I looked into Shareintel about a year and a half ago when they very first came up. You remember the whole Chad incident?
Yes.
And the West Christian letters. And that's the last time I really looked into them. And then this letter popped up on Twitter a couple days ago. And, you know, I don't know what to say other than I feel like they're loosely associated with West Christian or West Christiansen, whatever his name is.
West Christian. Yep.
West Christian. Seems like it's a company that maybe he has a partnership or an affiliation with that he refers people to. But my big question that I put out on Twitter over the weekend, because I started looking into them again some more. Look, guys, anyone that wants to hire Shareintel, I got no problem with that. But before anybody goes spending money on it, if I was spending my money, I'd say, where's the results of, you know, Shareintel's previous work? So that was what I tweeted out. I did a little bit of looking, going back a few years, looking on their website, looking for all of the, the success cases. And maybe I'm doing it wrong, Mass, but I couldn't find any. Did you have a chance to look?
So me and T just did a little bit of digging the last couple hours. I'm going to pull this graphic up on the screen. So since we went back to 2018, and remember the company just fired off in, I believe, 2016 was when they became an entity. PHUN, if some of you guys remember, they had a little run back in last year when they were affiliated or supposed to be affiliated or in collusion with DWAC. If you guys remember True Social, that whole thing, Fun had a little run on it. I remember because I think I still have like 2 shares. But back in 2019, they had hired this company, David Wenger's company, to look into what was going on with PHUN. And so far, me and Tony can't find anything as far as what those results were of their forensic audit, all the things they look into. Now, in the last 2 months, Cosmos, Finger, and GTII all popped up as in hiring this service. So we don't have any data on these. Obviously, they've all been the last 2 or 3 months. but couldn't find anything on the PHUN ticker. So I don't know, how effective this strategy is. I mean, it doesn't look like it's provided anything significant that me and Tony could find with a simple Google search.
So if I heard you correctly, Fun hired them like 3.5 years ago, and we have no update if they found anything or found nothing. Just like no update at all, right?
Nothing. Not a peep. Not that I could find.
Well, I don't know what it costs, but that's kind of like my minimum bar is like, show me your success stories and then I can get behind it. But I say anybody who wants to go that angle, those are the questions you should be asking.
Absolutely. Yep. Anytime. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate the support. College football. Is the championship a beatdown? That's a good thing I didn't try to watch that tonight. I honestly, I don't even know who's playing tonight. Who's in the national championship? Ohio State? And Georgia, maybe? That is, I can't believe I don't even know this. $38-7. Oh, Tendy's Georgia Bulldogs are putting a whooping on TCU. T, you don't know TCU, Texas Christian? Come on, T. They gotta be close to you.
I've been deep in stock market due diligence all day today.
That's what I like to hear.
Either that or taking care of the wife.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Forget football. Grandpa, good evening. How you doing tonight? Good fellas. T-Raiden Thunderbolt. Brian C, good evening. Six Son. Jake. Veronica, good evening. Larry Wanta. Tom. Prometheus, what's up, brother? Doc Zeno, we got, right? Grandpa Barney's in the house. Hey, Grandpa Barney. Hope you're feeling better, Grandpa Barney. I haven't checked on you in a couple days, but I hope you are. Savvy, and all right, we got everybody, I think, up to now. I don't think we've missed anyone. MC, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. And Tendy Time says, Mr. He saying, go Bulldogs, huh? A lot of Bulldogs fans in the chat tonight. All right. Rachel, good evening. Jake says, I want my money back. What do you think, T? Do you think this is something that Adam Aron should look into? Or I know you said maybe possibly you don't even think that he will address this, right?
I mean, I don't care whether he looks into it or not. If the question's been asked, it's been put to him. The letter has been delivered to AMC. I confirmed that it was delivered to the AMC front desk lobby in Leawood, Texas, I think on December 29th. So the letter was delivered. Whether or not he hires them, that's their choice. But I would be asking, before I spend the money to hire this company, what are the success stories? And I'm just coming up empty. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, same here. So this is the letter we're talking about right here. Naked Truth, Inc., the nonprofit organization. This letter is from Christian Levine, which is Mr. West Christian's law firm. And this has been sent out. You can see here, there's an actual number here that was sent on the 21st. It's interesting. I don't know. Did you get a chance to listen to that space call at LT by any chance?
Which one? I've been on a bunch.
That West Christian had with David Wenger and another gentleman. I believe it was like 3 or 4 nights ago. Okay.
I didn't. No.
Okay. Let me just pop this up real quick. I'm keeping track of my mods here. Prometheus. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Last time I did.
MC, thank you, brother.
Yes, and if you guys remember to hit the like on the way in, that would be fantastic. So, T, I'm going to pull this graphic up. This is just some of the takeaways I had from that space call, what West Christian was talking about. So, and this was, he mentioned a lot of this back when he was interviewed for the documentary about Wall Street. But I thought some of these things we've touched on before that are going on in the behind closed doors, right? So some of the things that Wes pointing out was the numerous times that shares are being lent out, the same shares, deliverance, accepting payment, receiving nothing, and the short interest being 3 or 4 times what's normally reported. Now, about all of these things, he's talked about all these things in the past, and Wes Christian, he's been looking into this for a long time, right? And I think these are all major issues that retail is dealing with across the board. I don't think this is just an AMC thing or a GME thing or a stonk thing. This is across the board. This is going on, and these type of things are definitely affecting us and affecting the market as a whole.
And all things that all of us are worried about.
Yeah,
that are holding certain plays back. Yes.
Right. And I think that this to me is a bigger issue than anything Shareintel. Although if Shareintel could actually pull some data and be able to show us what's going on, that would be nice. But just they haven't been able to prove that they've done anything yet, unless someone would like to prove us wrong on that. But we can't find anything. So, I don't think it's as big as a deal.
I've been developing some other sources along a tangent of that. I hope to have a guest on in the next few days, maybe this week. Another guy that it looks like from following him on Twitter and looking at his website, he specializes in digging into daily short volume. So I'll talk more with you offline about this gentleman, but if that develops, I need to have a phone call with him first. He said that he's willing to come on and do an evening live stream or a live stream and answer questions. So I have my own self a lot of questions about daily short volume. A lot of people put a lot of weight on it, including this particular gentleman and his company. I personally tend to not put a lot of weight on it, but I always question all of my assumptions. So I try and reach out to people that have different beliefs than me. And I'm really curious to hear what he has to say. So more on that as a tangent to investigating this whole short interest thing. We're never giving up. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I'll remind you to talk about that. I didn't know about that just now. So that would be interesting. Annie T, how you doing tonight? Captain Arma, Jeffrey Rocha. Who else we got in here? White, Darren, we got, I think, before. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Keep the faith. Jordan, good evening. JR, Joe N, and Anthony Martinez. Anthony says, evening, gents. If AMC conversion will be 1-to-1, which is what we're assuming right now, T, right? Or did you actually debunk that is definitely it's 1-to-1?
I looked at the document again this weekend and that conversion formula that we're getting a lot of people twisted up. And if it looks like, it's very plainly written in the August 4th filing that the conversion is 1 APE equals 1 AMC, unless you go down to that conversion formula, separate paragraph. It says that if there is a dividend issued or a corporate action like a split, or I would assume a reverse split, that happened before a conversion, then you would apply this conversion formula. So, and I tweeted that out and put it on my community tab. I think that the way the AMC is going to do it is convert and then do the reverse split if it's a yes vote. So you don't got to worry about that conversion formula. But if for some reason they did the reverse split first, then that conversion formula would come into play. But long story short, it just adjusts the ratio of APE to the split price. So the net result is the same either way.
Okay. All right.
1 for 1. Short answer.
1 for 1. All right.
Final answer.
That's good to know. I'm glad we got that locked down. I thought you had mentioned that the other day. Did you post a tweet about that? Or where did you put that on the community page?
Community tab and Twitter. Yes, both.
Okay. All right. What was the other subject we wanted to talk about tonight? Shareintel. We got to that. We got to Wes Christian. I had a bunch of things there I wanted to talk about. I don't know why I'm
Did you
going blank now, especially as I'm driving.
did you can't catch any of the live stream last night with Bigums? Any question on the stuff we talked about on that?
Yeah. So as far as talking about the debt, our debt issue, so you are under the assumption, pretty much. I mean, you're pretty much sold on that. We have about 12 months left of money in the bank, somewhere around
I mean,
there, 18 months.
everything depends on how strong the performance of box office is in the next 4 quarters, including the one that we're in now. Plus, if they get these other revenue streams up and going, but I'm not counting on those, right? Let's just put those aside. If we just look at box office and what the predictions are for box office improvement in 2023 over 2022, it's still not going to get us back to 2018, 2019 levels. And so we most likely would be in an operating loss and have the debt service dragging us down, giving us 2, 3, 4 months, 4 quarters at best of cash, and then AMC's done if they don't do any additional cash raise or pay off the debt.
Okay. So we are kind of in a bind right now, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he has Ape, right? Just to keep on raising cash, but that hasn't been working out so well.
So have we come to the conclusion that no matter what, we're getting dilution, whether it's through Ape or whether it's going to be through a reverse split and a conversion, and then doubling the float? Is that how you think this might go down? If this does go down, is that your speculation that he would double the float?
I don't know how many shares he would issue. I mean, that's a commonly debated topic, right? Is he going to do 100 million, 200 million, 300 million? No one knows, right? Everybody's just guessing.
Yeah.
So
same with the share price. What are we going to be at when we get that? If that happens, what are we going to have for a share price at that point?
I mean, we can kind of ballpark that.
And just based off of the two prices right now and a 10-to-1 reverse split. Okay. All right. So if we're going off of right now, we're looking at about what, somewhere around $40 a share.
AMC plus Ape. What do we close at today? $3.90 and $1.30. So $5.20. It's $1.39. So $5.30.
So we're looking at a $53 stock price.
Yep. And
which
a
would bring us
float
back
of
to about August of last year, right?
Well, I mean, no, because the float, you're changing the float. So
Right.
You can't compare the price to anything. It's still going to be $5.30. It's the day the reverse split happens. It's the same stock price as the day before, but you've reduced the float and increased the price. So don't go back and try and compare it to anything. And certainly don't go back and say, well, how are we going to get to 72 or 720 or what? You might compare it to 720, but you got to always factor in the lower float when you're looking at the price. That
Right.
I see people skipping that step.
Yeah. Sometimes that gets left out of the equation, right?
But I think you were going to ask me about the debt, though, like when Bigums and I were talking last night.
Yes.
And I've been talking with other people about it also. Would he, depending on how many shares he issues, if it was a yes vote and he does a dilution on AMC, what's he going for? Right? That's another unknown. And that's why I don't even really want to comment on this much before I see a proxy statement or get more communication from the company, because maybe he'll give us an idea. But is he going to try and raise $1 billion, $2 billion, $5 billion? Is he going to load up the cash reserves and pay off part of the debt? I think we're all assuming he's going to raise $5 billion and pay off all the debt in one fell swoop. Well, that could be a scenario, but there's many, many scenarios of what he could do after a cash raise.
Yeah.
There's no need to pay off all the debt. But yes, I mean, that's why we have the target on our back, right? From shorts.
And I think it's pretty safe to say that no matter what, popcorn and credit cards are not going to make up $5 billion in debt. So issuing more dilution is the only way we're going to be able to raise the money that we're going to need right now. But if that gives us another 12 months, that buys us another 12 months to continue to fight. Now, I know that's not ideal to everyone. It's not ideal to me either. But it's better than losing. Right?
The timeline that it buys really depends on how many shares he issues and what price he sells them at, right?
Right.
Even if he sells 100 million shares, if it were to crater to $20 and he sells 100 million above $20, that's still $2 billion. That's more than we had a year and a half ago. So, and I think that he'll be going for at least that amount, at least 2 billion.
Okay.
I know some people
that would make sense, right?
I know some people that are worried he's going to go for pay off all the debt plus cash, like 6-7 billion. But I just don't know if, I don't know that the price will hold up to that kind of dilution.
I mean, the shorts are going to attack it immediately, right? As soon as that happens, as soon as that conversion
I'm almost done. The reverse split video that I've been working on this weekend. I don't know if I told you about that, but everyone's scared of reverse splits because all of their experiences with stocks like Zila, Sin, CEI, Progenity, Bior, all of these 20-cent penny stocks, and they all fail. And I looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds over the past few days. And yeah, if that is the set of experience you have with reverse splits, you have, understandably, are scared. But those stocks were already trash stocks before the reverse split. That was their last gasp of life before they went to the pink sheet. There's a reason they're trading at 20 cents, and they're trying to reverse split to stay on the big market. But I'm doing a comparison, Massalorian, and it'll be available either tonight, depending on how late we go, or in the morning, of large market cap reverse splits. And okay. I'll just tell you a preview. It's a night and day story.
Really?
So yes.
Okay. You drop in the next 24 hours?
Yeah, at the latest tomorrow morning. And that's just the reverse split. I'm not worried about the reverse split on a big company like this. I've got enough data to say that works out just fine. I'm more worried about the dilution. But hey, what good does worrying about that do me? Because it's either going to be billions of more ape dilution or some new AMC dilution. I'm not getting out of the dilution fear. No matter what I do, that's not going away, no matter how I vote.
No, you're right. There's no escaping really that.
The question to ask yourself when you're thinking about your vote is, do you want billions of more ape, or do you want a few 100 million AMC?
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, it's coming, right? More than likely. We just don't have we don't have enough money in the bank right now. That 2 billion was a nice number a year ago, but we don't have that much left. What do we think we have? What about 800 million, or is it even less than that now in cash?
I think, based on what Sean Goodman said, they at the low end, it'll be around 500 million in cash at the end of this quarter, plus a couple hundred million in the credit facility.
Got it. Okay. Goodfella says, is it realistic he could pay off all the debt with a share offering? Is it just a few billion more likely? That's a good question. Yeah. We're all wondering the same thing. No one knows. Yeah, good fellas. We are all thinking just the same way you are, right? Jenna, good evening, Jenna. Jenna says, if conversion passes, but the reverse split doesn't, the float would be huge and easily to get AMC shorted under $1. Yeah. Do you think one passes without the other?
That's why I'm not commenting on it until I see the proxy, because I don't know if they'll be conditioned on each other at all.
Right. Okay. Joanne says 20% short interest, my ass. Sergio says Bob Iger. Yes. Bob Iger is at the national championship. Does this mean he's buying AMC? Is it in Leawood, Kansas? I know then. Where's the game? If it's not in Leawood, Kansas, probably not. Let's see. Still my opinion. Centric Content says, still my opinion on the conversion of reverse split. When APE was issued, many people received it late by days. That's a good question. T, what's your thoughts on that? Like, I know there was a lot of discrepancy.
We predicted all of that.
Hmm.
You can take that question off so they can see our face. Massalorian, you and I did videos together. I've seen this on many type of corporate actions, and I told you exactly what was going to happen. The big U.S. brokers, everybody would get it on day one. If you had a smaller broker, like what are these little the little apps that people use? What's that one called?
Like Cash App and stuff?
Yeah, Cash App and some of those other ones. The word Stripe is in my mind, but I don't think that's it. Those would be delayed, and for sure the EU would be delayed by at least 2 days in Canada. So exactly what I told you would happen before they even did it is exactly what happened. And I said, if you be patient a couple days, you'll all get your shares. And, everybody eventually got them. But that's very, very common. It was not specific to AMC. That's how I knew how it would play out.
Okay. Thoughts on box office? Good news. Megan is crushing it and are about to re-release, I guess, a gorier version of it for the theaters. Did you hear that?
Of which one?
Megan, the movie.
Oh yeah, I shared that in our Discord. They're coming out with an unrated, more gory version. Correct. Megan's killing it. Megan's killing it. They're already making money on that production, and they've done, I think, 45 million worldwide. So for the production house, they're killing it.
Ah, shit.
And I would go see an unrated version of it. What's wrong?
I was just thinking to myself the other day. I was researching to find out. Do you know who John Campea is? He does an entertainment show on YouTube. He talks about the movie industry pretty much. He used to work at AMC.
I've heard the name, but I don't know that I've seen his YouTube channel.
So a while back, we were talking about Avatar, the budget, what it needs to make money. And he was saying when he worked at AMC at their headquarters that they always would try to guesstimate how much a movie would need to turn a profit how much revenue you need to get in order to turn a profit. So he always said that you took the budget, you times it by 2 for advertising, and then you add 33% on that for other. And I'm like, what the hell is 33% of other? So I went to go look to try to find out exactly what he means by that. And there were some interesting things as far as revenue that gets taken away from the theaters. So the good thing is about the theaters is the longer a movie stays in, I know we've mentioned this a couple of times, the longer the movie stays in the theater, the more money that stays in the house and less it goes to production company, which is why I think that Avatar is going to make a big statement. And I think that's why we saw a lot of excitement about Top Gun because it brought in a ton of cash and it was number one at the box office and in the box office for months, right? Months. There were people still seeing that movie 3-4 months after it came out. And they were talking about how the percentage consistently goes up, but they were also talking about what money comes out of that. So there is money there certainly, and overseas especially, domestic films in United States, the production company, there's in Europe, most of the European countries and a lot of Southeast Asia, those countries, they have to pay almost like a tariff that comes out of the theater to American production houses, which I didn't know. I never knew about that. They talked about the rates. A lot of the actors are getting paid now, especially the big names are getting some of that revenue. Like they're in for like maybe half a percentage point or a percentage point each, depending on how big the name of the actor is or the film that they're in. So there's a lot of extra things that that go into that budget. But at the end of the day, they basically boiled it down to that the second episode of Avatar cost about $700 million when all is said and done. So we just passed 1.5 billion, right, on Avatar 2?
1.7 billion.
Okay. So it's doing extremely well. And that's a good sign to start the year off.
And this Saturday, Mass, the fourth Saturday of Avatar was bigger than the second and third Saturdays, by the way.
Yeah. See, and we talked about this a month ago, right before it came out. We need this movie to have legs, and it's showing it has legs. Thank God. I was really nervous about this, but it is definitely proving to be a hit, and I'm very excited about that. KYP, what's up, darling? How are you doing tonight? It's a couple people. 1796 Patriot, good evening. Cobra the Ape. Eric, how you doing tonight? Ready for the SOMOS. Karen, how are you this evening? Joanne, let's see. Anyone else I'm missing here?
Someone asked, would the price of Ape go up when Antara finishes their second tranche? That price has already been agreed on, and that's a direct issue from the company, from available shares. So you won't see any price action off of that. It's not like it's happening in the market.
Right. Alan says we don't have a choice. The stock got taken over. Do you think this is hostage takeovers happened at AMC? Not yet, right? I don't think we're there yet.
By my count, I talked about this briefly last night. I crunched the numbers because I hear people saying, and I was like, how could that be? I hear people saying, you sold a majority interest of the company to Antara. And I'm like, 250 million shares out of 1.5 billion Ape and AMC. What math does that equate to a majority interest?
Yeah.
Doesn't. Can you explain that to me?
No, sorry. Can't do it. I don't think it makes sense. Yeah, I didn't see that, but that's a little ludicrous that people are coming up with that. Jeez. But that's encouraging to see. I'm glad about Megan doing well. A low budget film, didn't cost a lot of money. We need more of those. We need more of these smaller budget films that can turn larger profits, stay in the theaters longer. We really need to get back to some of the basics. I was watching Quentin Tarantino the other night. He was talking about the movies, and he was specifically talking about 1917. Did you see that movie about World War I? The trenches?
A long time ago, yeah.
They were talking about it, and they were talking about the epic films. I think I brought this up the other night, but I was saying that the historical epic has something that kind of had its run in the 90s and 2000s. And a lot of studios bet big on some of those historical epics. The studios back because they were having some struggles, right? And he was talking about.
Oh, you were talking about the movie. I thought you meant the actual battle in 1917. I was actually there. So
I was gonna say, which side of the trenches were you in?
Haven't seen the movie. It brings back PTSD.
Okay.
Sorry, I got confused for a second.
That's okay. They were talking about historical epics and how there's, those were big money makers for the production companies back in the day. Just go back and think about some of the ones, the Gladiators and the Patriots and those big historical epics. And there's a bunch on Slate. Quentin Tarantino was going through them with Bill Maher the other night, of all people. Is the weirdest thing. But yeah, they were going back and forth talking about some of the big projects that some of the big directors are working on right now. And I'm still up in the air about what's going on with DC and the MCU and this phase being over. And I'm hoping that, we're going to see them try to get back to, get into the good storytelling and lore. And, I think it's promising seeing Tom Cruise out there really being an advertisement for actors and film and people going to see the movies, right? He's like the biggest advocate for the theaters. Speaking of which, do you want to talk about View for a little bit, or do you think we'll get too far off track with that?
We can switch over to View. I want to answer a couple of questions here. I saw one from Arthur. Arthur is asking, does the timeline of when things happen matter? Like if it was a yes vote, the conversion and the reverse split and dilution, yeah, it does matter. Absolutely. Which is why I really am curious if we're going to get more communication from the company And what is the proxy statement going to say? Are they going to give us any specific clues or direct communication about what kind of dilution they want to do? And I think my biggest fear is knowing that they need to either sell more APE or sell AMC. My biggest fear is that they squander the time after the reverse split like they did with introducing APE and let the price get run down and then try and sell it. That is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Arthur.
I would agree with you. That is my biggest fear too. That he doesn't pull the trigger fast enough or whatever the case may be. I want to see my shares decreases and then get porked. I'd rather do it with all my shares. At least I could take it like a man. Owning the Float. Good evening. How you doing tonight? Owning the Float said, by the way, Proud Ma, I don't even know what's going on in Cohasset. There's a woman missing. I bet the Idaho case will be a movie soon. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that guy, Koberger, huh? Movies will come back huge, especially as 2023 starts to take its downturn and starting to look for family trips for under $100. Yeah. As money gets tight, right? Definitely. And prices are up. No doubt about it, right? Prices for the movies are up. Some of these big blockbusters are charging a little extra on the opening weekends. But I think what we're seeing right now is promising, at least for the first two movies of the year, big movies. Go ahead, T.
Keep the Faith says, does this mean you'll have double the AMC shares if you haven't sold AMC or APE? Yes, it'll go. If you have 1,000 AMC and 1,000 APE, you should have 2,000 AMC after the conversion.
Correct.
From what we understand now, it'll be that or very close to it. Says 1-to-1.
Yeah. You've pointed that out. I think clearly it's going to be 1-to-1, right? American Trader, good evening. How you doing tonight? Let's see, Darren, Jordan. All right, Peter Anderson, let's get your question up for us before we go into view. Says, guys, serious question. AMC's 8K filed June 1st, 2021. So this is, a day before the run-up. States in bold, you should expect to lose your entire investment. Why is this stock falling so surprising to everyone? I don't know, Peter. That's a good question. I don't know. Look around your portfolio. How many of your tickers right now in your portfolio are crushing?
Well, that was right when it was squeezing, right?
Yeah. The second and third. Yeah.
This gets back to why I started my channel in July of 2021, because of people putting out ridiculous price targets in May and June when I was watching this, and I was shaking my fist at the monitor listening to Matt and Trey telling people, keep buying at 60, 70, buy options. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's clearly in a squeeze. Load the boat at 60, 70 is not a great option. You want to load the boat at the beginning of a play, not go all in when it's running up like that. And I get the excitement and people get caught up into it, especially if they hesitated, the typical retail behavior on many plays. I see it every week is they hesitate. And then once it's really moving, they jump in and it starts tanking the next day. That's such predictable retail behavior. I want to stop people from doing that. If you listen to my channel, I'm going to talk you out of more plays than in them, because if you're not in it the first day or the first 2 days, it's just safer to wait for the next one. There's always something else. And no one on YouTube, rarely ever, the price targets they're putting out come true. So yeah, I mean, the 8K told you exactly what you should have done as a reasonable investor, is not put your entire life savings in something at 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks. I was buying it in the $7 to $8 range in late May. And but once it started moving, if I was doing additional buys after that, those were smaller and smaller option plays. And those, as it was running up, I was selling those option plays, because shares don't expire, but options expire. And I don't want to be trying to unload options on the way down.
No.
Because the down is usually like an elevator. you know, like
Yeah, it
throwing a
drops fast,
boulder
right?
off a building.
Right? Or a bag of boulders. Coach says, is it smarter to buy Ape versus AMC since Ape cheaper and will eventually convert to AMC? I don't know, T. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, looking at it right now, if that's going to go down like that, that's how it's going to go roll out.
I'm not giving any specific financial advice at this point. There's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen with the vote. So you know, the smart time to buy Ape, I think, was when I was doing it as it was getting closer and closer to $1. I bought a little bit in the 5, a little bit in the 4, more in the 2, a lot more at $1.50 and a lot more at $1. And I know people that bought it at 66, 67 cents, but the cheaper it got, that was the time to lock in Ape. We just didn't know how long we were going to have to wait or
Right.
how low it would go. We got a little Christmas present of the vote being put on the table, and then that run up that we were expecting finally happened much earlier than we thought. But now I'm not buying any more Ape right now because it's uncertain. I did buy some AMC last week at $3.90, so I'm on those. I'm 3 cents on the green on my cheapest shares.
Nice. 3 cents. I like it. Hey, better than down. I'll take it any day.
And I feel more comfortable for me. Again, I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or hold, and I don't know what's going to happen if a reverse split and dilution. I would expect some negative, statistically speaking, I would expect some negative price pressure
Bet on it.
if all the yeses pass. Anything could happen, but but if it's a no vote, you know, if it's a no vote, I expect AMC to bounce back up a little bit because you're not going to have the conversion, and the AMC won't become a dilution agent. So I'm adding a little more AMC right now, the cheaper it gets. But just, you know, I've already got so much. I don't want to oversize one ticker in my overall portfolio, and it's already the biggest one that I have. So I'm more looking at adding Amazons and Teslas and Apples and other blue chip stocks that are getting beaten down than trying to have all my eggs in one boat in one basket.
Yep. White says, how do we know they can't rig the vote? What do you think this is, a DNC and Bernie Sanders can't rig the vote? This isn't
Well,
Bernie
I mean,
Sanders and DNC.
I think all the votes are rigged to a certain extent. Not rigged, but I think all the votes are overvoted because of rehypothecation and other things and shorted shares. And I still have not found the video. Maybe it was Trimbath, maybe it was someone else that I watched a year and a half ago. Someone that was on a vote audit committee, and they were talking about how when the votes come in, they're almost always overvotes. So, and the brokers are the holder of records. So these brokers are submitting too many votes, and they kick it back to them and say, hey, you were only authorized 100 million. You submitted 130 million. We can't accept your vote. Go fix it. So the broker goes back and finagles the vote at their discretion, deciding which ones to keep and not keep, which kind of pisses me off to have heard that a year and a half ago.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
But then they resubmit the correct count, and the audit committee says, all right, we got to, you know, the votes matched, and we can move forward. But if they don't match, they kick it back. That's some bullshit in my book.
Yeah. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Coach, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you. Alan's got a question that just popped up. Alan says AMC, or he said, yeah, I guess there's a question. AMC needs to have a shareholders offering when they split. Now, I remember that Trey talked to Adam Aron directly about this when Adam Aron went on Trey's live stream that night about letting retail get a whack at them before they're offered up to anyone else. What's your thoughts on that, T? Because I know Adam Aron kind of dismissed it at hand.
I don't know. I mean, what price are you willing to pay for them?
Right.
And what do you, let's say we buy up all the float or half of it or 25% of it. You know, what do you think is going to happen once we buy it? If everyone's convinced they're going to short it no matter what. So I don't know. I'm going to watch the momentum after there's a new offering and try and, if I'm going to add more, pick it up as cheap as I can.
Yeah.
I don't know if it starts trading at 50, do I want to be buying at 50 if I think it's going down to 35 a week later? That's a tough question for me to answer.
I know. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Man, I wish. Carl J says nothing has changed. Shorts haven't covered. Says it all. That's why we're all in it. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I guess that's still a true statement, right? There's still many open short positions. So, American Trader says, "I hear you, Tony D. I still have a nice chunk of dry powder for the market's bottom. Yeah, I don't know what's coming, but we got to be getting close to that, American Trader, at some point. We can't be that far off from bottom. I mean, anything's possible, right? But habitual line holder says, what do you think about this? What if this is grow a pair and make? Oh, there you go. All right, this is disappointing. What about this? What about that? We're just speculating, habitual line holder. We're all holding a lot of shares, right? So this concerns all of us.
I don't know if he's talking to you and me as much as people in the chat.
Oh, maybe. Could be. Could be.
Yeah, guys, Mass and I are not financial advisors. We're just two guys like you trying to talk through our own thoughts and have a community with you guys and answer your questions to the best of our ability. But no one, not one single person making videos or tweets knows exactly what's going to happen.
This is true. Maria says, Tony, do you have a price target to purchase your favorite stocks?
Yeah, I share them often, Maria, on live streams.
And Discord, right?
Yep. If people ask, or if I'm doing research on one, I can put up a chart as an example for Tesla. Tesla.
Diaz, what's up, brother?
Screen share.
Yep. You can do it from your end now, right? You can just screen share automatically?
No, we're going to need to do a test run on that, Mass.
Okay. I'll put it up.
Because it's not letting me do it from my screen. I have to bring up a separate restream to pop up comments on your restream. And I was getting an echo, so I just shut it down. So these green bars are kind of like my buy zone for Tesla. So this is forecasting that it could go as low as $69-70. And I started buying once it went under 149. So my most recent purchase on Tesla was 109, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'll wait to add more shares after a 15 or 20% drop off of that. I'm just watching it right now to see if there's any consolidation here and move back up. But even, when I did this same type of thing on GameStop, what happens if it breaks through this bottom line on Tesla? Well, then I'm fucked. Then it's going down a lot further than 70, more than likely. I had the same setup on GameStop with my buy zone. And I said, if it falls through this yellow line and this red line, look out below. Stop buying until it consolidates. So my last buy on Tesla was, I have 12.18, $22. I think I bought some a little bit lower than that. I need to go back and look. It's in the Discord in the VIP channel. But right now, I'm just waiting for the red to stop. This could go all the way down to $9 based on falling knife syndrome. Unless some news comes out, market news or GameStop good news. We've broken through all the recent support on this thing. $10 is the next stopping point. I'm not saying it'll hit $10. I'm just saying I'm not about to jump in front of this and try and catch it. It's been in a free fall since, we had this consolidation, but it's mostly been coming down since August. A couple weeks of consolidation, and the last week or so just really, really getting hammered. So I am still holding the GameStop that I bought a little bit higher than this, but if I'm going to add more, I'm going to wait until all of those red candles stop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good look right now, right? That's not a great setup for GameStop. Definitely not. Let me throw this up here real quick, T, before we go into view. Dave Style Fee says, I heard you mention this a little bit last night with Bigham's stream. I'm just curious if your thoughts have changed at all. Hey guys, how do you feel about the mass? Is it really called Mass Awareness Day?
Yeah, mad.
Are doing on January 27th and 28th at SEC locations. I personally feel it's time to stand up and unite against these corrupt assholes. Yeah, Dave, I'm all about standing up to the corrupt assholes, believe me. And probably most of my subscribers know that I can't stand any of these people, whether it's the administration, the SEC, Treasury. Just go watch my intro to my videos. I'm not a fan, right? But as far as what can happen down there, what can go wrong, I know a lot of people are worried about some of the things that have happened. If you don't know, we just had January 9th in Brazil. They just stormed the Capitol and tried to oust the president. Literally, they stormed the presidential palace in Brazil. They're fighting out in the streets. I don't think that's going to be like this, but there's always a potential for that. Just keep eyes in the back of your head. And but I think it's a good thing. I think we should be causing a ruckus about this. I think it's important for us and for our children who are going to be investing in this market in the future. I think it's time people need to start to learn what's going on. Let's see.
I said the same thing in my live last night. I support anybody's right to protest. If that's something you want to do, then by all means do it. All this nonsense talk about protest or lawsuits is going to get a stock delisted or halted. I do not believe that. And if people want to go protest, then they should protest. For whatever reason, that group, they've stopped talking to me because I said Adam Aron's doing his job. But even though Mass Awareness Day is supposed to be about corruption in the markets and the SEC and short sellers, they don't like the fact that I said Adam Aron is doing his job as a CEO. That's a completely separate issue, you guys. If you think the CEO's job is to give you a MOAS or to not let the company go into bankruptcy, that's different than mass awareness of corruption. But for some reason now I'm the bad guy, and they've created a whole subgroup, that I'm persona non grata on their market corruption group because of my opinions about Adam Aron, which I don't frankly understand it. It's a separate issue.
They really are separate.
Emotions are high right now, and so if they don't want my help, then I won't be giving it. But I still support their right to do whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike says January 8th mass. Thanks, Mike. Dreamer Stuff says, not sure why everyone hates on GameStop. Only place I can go and nerd out. Amazon and other online retailers don't even offer deals in comparison. No issue supporting them in the jobs. So Dreamer Stuff, me and Tony were talking about this, the last couple of days, as far as what's going on in GameStop right now. Look, the NFT launch was not, I don't think they expected to take as big of a hit on that as they did. And I'm hoping that they have some more things coming down the pipeline, because clearly that is going to be a big nothing burger. Seems so far, it's only cost them. And I don't think me and Tony aren't hating on GameStop. We both own GameStop, and we have for a long time. Since I've known Tony, he's owned GameStop, vice versa. So there's no hate on this side of the aisle from GameStop, but not going to stop us from talking about what's really going on behind the scenes at the company.
Someone put in your comments, GameStop is profitable. I mean, I don't know what financials you guys are looking at, but GameStop is not profitable and has not been for a couple of years. That is evident right on the income statement. And I look at earnings per share. I've got 2018, 2019, 2021, 2022 all pulled up here. Let me just scroll to the right line, and we'll look at it. Earnings per share for Q4 2020, they had a positive 10 cents. Q4 2021, they had positive 31 cents. But other than that, 2019 Q4 negative, Q4 2022 negative, Q3 20, missing a couple quarters here on Morningstar. I should probably pull it up on their own website, but I've looked at this. They're not a profitable company, you guys. I know people are telling you that. Go look at the earnings per share for every quarter for the last 2 years. That is how I define profitable. Do they have a positive or negative earnings per share? Let me pull up a better source because Morningstar is leaving off some of the data.
Gary says, I don't hate GameStop and AMC investor. We can all own both stocks, and I want to see both companies succeed, right? I know what you guys are saying about nerding out at GameStop. Like that's one of the biggest things that was attractive about the brick and mortar part of GameStop, right? Was be able to go in there, all the merch that they had, and be able just to nerd out with games and play and try things and pre-order and all that, right? And that was a big part of my life back in the day. I mean, I used to, be a big, huge fan. If you guys want, take down this name. His name's Camelot331. He's a YouTuber. He used to be a manager at a GameStop somewhere out in the Midwest, I think. But he stays on top of GameStop news much better than Marantz. I mean, he is on point. Marantz is too big about everyone else. But go check out Camelot331. If you really want to know what's going on, the inner workings of GameStop and GME, go check out Camelot331 on YouTube.
All right, I got a screen share for you from my stock screening tool.
Okay.
This is GameStop starting in the most recent quarter and then getting older as we go to the right. You got your revenue, net income. You can see all the negatives here. And the earnings per share starting in the most recent quarter, negative, 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 all the way back to January of 2021 was their last profitable quarter. They have plenty of cash, guys. Their cash burn is much lower than AMC. And if you look at the balance sheet, they got plenty of cash. But this is not a profitable company at the moment. And that's the reason why they're cutting back hours, laying off people, getting rid of first-line managers and making second-line managers responsible for multiple stores, forced closures on one employee stores during the lunch hour. There's a lot of things behind the scenes on GameStop that not everybody is telling you. And to tell you that it is a profitable company is factually incorrect.
Okay. There you go. And there's the data. So don't let anyone lie to you. They do have tons of cash, but turning a profit has been an issue.
I'm holding GameStop for the Ryan Cohen transformational announcement. They got to get beyond this brick and mortar thing. If I was just looking at brick and mortar as that was the only thing that they are investing in, then I would not be holding GameStop. I'm waiting for some sort of transformational announcement from Ryan Cohen, who I like. I'm a big fan of Chewy. I'm a customer of Chewy. But when that announcement comes out, if it comes out, I expect to get a big pop in GameStop. So I'm trying to add it as cheaply as I can and pick up some more shares as cheaply as I can. But if that doesn't pan out, if he pulls a BBBY, then then I'm going to be screwed. But I have faith in him with GameStop, and he's got plenty. He's got plenty of runway to make something happen. But make no mistake, this company's. I put up some charts in the Discord. It's not a home run just yet. We got to have delivery on that transformational announcement.
Yeah. You got learned. Definitely didn't say he was an expert on the stock price. Expert on the company, not the stock price. Go check out the channel. You know what I'm talking about. Just go watch one of his videos. It'll be very clear and apparent in the first 5 minutes. The man knows what he's talking about.
Here's one other interesting chart.
Go for
This
it.
is not my chart, just from this stock analysis tool. It has GameStop marked as a sell with a low going as low as $5.35, a high going as high as $27. That I think is not based on any surprise announcement from Ryan Cohen, but I mean that's a pretty wide window.
Yeah, right.
And the amount of analysts, January 2023, 4 have it marked as a sell, 2 have it marked as a strong sell, 3 have it marked as a hold. No one has it marked as a buy on the analysts that this website collects data from. I don't know, just sharing data. I'm not trying to shit talk GameStop. I own it, and I will be adding some as it gets cheaper and cheaper. But I consider it a speculative investment, just like as I add AMC or Hycroft. They're all speculative until a turnaround plan is in place.
Yes. Yep. And look, they're making moves and strides with delivery and setting up some big warehouses, right, to get their retail online business going. So they're making some moves in the right places. I think that's the way we're headed. I think brick and mortar is on its way out the door. Just it's not worth the hassle. It's just not worth the hassle anymore. Not when someone can drop something off at your door the next day, and you won't have to deal with any bullshit. Let's see. Someone said about unbanning habitual line holder. Wrenches, if you can do that for me, my friends, my fellow mods. How you doing, Falana? Good evening tonight. Let's see. By the way, let's go talk about View for a second. So I'll just tell you guys real quick where I got the story from. The other night on CNN, the CEO of this theater company was on. He was on with one of the guys from CNN, one of the anchors, and he's the CEO of View, which I believe is a theater company out of London, England. And I'm just gonna pull up their page real quick. Okay. You mean top bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Side by side, whatever that
Yeah.
other view
Yep.
is besides
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
horizontal format.
Gotcha. All right. So this is their homepage. Hopefully we don't lag here. But this is the top of their homepage. This is not a sin. I started looking down. I want to see like, oh, who is this guy? Never heard of you or anything. They got Christmas classics here, a couple weeks old. I'm sure they have an updated few, but so they're bringing back some older cult masterpieces and classic films back on the big screen. Yeah, they're obvious theater, right? But then they've added they've added dance, they've added music, they've added anime, they've added big screen TV, they've added big screen sports, including Champions League of the UEFA, big screen knowledge. I don't even know what that is. Big screen game, going for like this whole new thing. Big screen comedy, trying to big things and basically bringing other things to the big screen. And I thought it was very interesting. And some things maybe that, Adam Aron and the board need to take a look at. Maybe trying to create some of this into the AMC business model. Like, is there a market for this over there? How is this working out right now? Are they making any money off these ticket sales? I'd like to know. I think there's a lot of innovative ideas there. Things that I'd like to possibly explore in the future, right? T?
I'm hoping, we've seen Adam Aron talk about some of these, but I'm hoping he's looking at competitors like this, maybe not him specifically, but people, frontline management, a level or two down from him, are looking at stuff like that and bringing these ideas forward, because this is what I'm talking about when I talk about exploring additional revenue streams. I love this website from View, myview.com, VUE.
Yep, I'm gonna actually put I'm actually gonna grab it and put it in the comments. I mean, in the Hang on. Copy and paste this. So if you guys want to go check it out, maybe send it to ARON so you can take a look at it. Clark says, I was driving home. Hey, Shirley. Says, I was driving home listening to you guys and I couldn't reply because I was driving. Did you say GameStop might go down to $9 a share? Was that what you said, T? You said maybe 10, right?
I'm saying on my chart where I drew in my support lines and my target buy zone, it breached my bottom line buy zone. And I've been saying for months, if it ever got below that, look out below. You know, it's broken all bottom line support. And the next support is at the $9 or $10 range. Will it get there? Gosh, I hope not, because I bought some recently in the low 20s. But as long as we're seeing red candles every day, I'm not adding at 17, 18, 16 until I see new consolidation or some news that gets it moving back the other direction. And I still got to worry about overall market risk. I'm still expecting some bad market news between now and March. So I'm just gingerly adding to all my different positions. I don't want to go load the boat on GameStop when it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles in a row. When it stops, I'll go in and add some more.
There you go. By the way, Yuka, it was supposed to be here yesterday. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. I haven't checked in the last couple of hours. It could be out front in the hallway. I haven't even looked. Jordan says, what happened to everyone saying they were going to buy so much if it went under $10? How many more? Enough. You know? How many is enough? Shirley, how you doing tonight? Shirley's in some class, so she can't stay with us too long. What's up to Shirley? Robert Alonso says, I want to see all detailed itemized transaction on the next earnings report for AMC Q3 2023. It's time to go forensic accounting on the whole filing. Can't wait to see what kind of bullshit in it. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Are we going to...
We're going to have the 10K. The next one's the 10K, which generally has more information than the 10Qs because it'll be the summary for the whole year. Okay. No, Q3 already got reported. We already have Q3, but the next quarterly one, which we'll get in late February, probably early March, generally has more details than the 10Qs. But as far as a forensic accounting, I don't know how you get that, how you go dig through their QuickBooks.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you get your hands on that info? Yeah, you're talking about going into someone quick. I mean, I'm sure they don't have QuickBooks, but
I'm assuming he's a CPA and could properly interpret all that too.
That might be what it is.
The gentleman that asked the question. If you're not a CPA, you can forget about it. Not figuring that shit out.
Yeah, that might be what it is. Love you too, Shirley. Someone was saying, sorry, Tony. Oh, Clark was saying, sorry, Tony. So you think we can still get a short squeeze on GameStop, and how much runway financially do they have? They got cash, right? Like you just said.
Yeah, cash. Clark, go back and look at the last GameStop update I did after their last earnings. I give you in just a couple minutes my general summary on GameStop and how much time they have, but they're not in anywhere near the short-term pants on fire cash situation and cash burn that AMC is. But if I look at the short interest on GameStop, let me pull that up real quick. I don't look at that every day. 22% on the daily short interest on Ortex. Cost to borrow 24%. It's in the same boat as AMC. Lower cost to borrow. Very few shares available. It's squeezable, Clark, if they come out with some good news. But I think right now the market is anticipating bad news from GameStop, and that is why the price is being beaten down.
Do you think we have a greater chance of an unknown catalyst that has nothing to do with AMC helping us towards this squeezing, or would you say it's got to be a catalyst from AMC?
Either one works, Mass. I don't know which one will be first.
All right, just checking. Maybe
Right now with
info.
everything going on with AMC, who knows what else they have that they're going to announce. I'd like to have some other good news announcement, like we were talking about the other day, in conjunction with this vote and any potential dilution announcement. I'd like it to be watered down with, oh, and by the way, we're launching retail popcorn this week also.
Right.
Something.
Right.
But the only market news that I'm expecting is not good news. It's going to be
earnings,
more layoffs and worse earnings and worse outlook from CEOs. So there are people that think that a market crash scenario, which could be coming in the next 2 months, could be a catalyst to get some shorts, really some hedge funds. I shouldn't say shorts, some hedge funds in a bad position as their capital gets drained down. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not in the prediction business.
Yep. Agreed, Tony. Canuck Tide says, no one better picked up my plug. Please on the cost to borrow fee on AMC shot up to 100% on 12/27. Hasn't been below 80% since. Currently at 92. Was as high as 138 on 103. Look, Canuck Tide, that's a yearly cost to borrow, right? So it's not like they're having to, those repercussions, they're not feeling those as much as me and you are feeling our stocks getting attacked right now. Right, T? I mean, that's a 12-month, that's spread out over 12 months, that percentage, correct?
I mean, anything 80, 90, 100% means that if some good news comes out and there's not that many shares available to borrow and the cost to borrow is high, that it's ripe for a run up if people start buying or start closing shorts on good news. So I like to see it this high. I've got some thoughts about why it is high. I don't know if I want to talk about those tonight.
You could save that.
But I like we're in a good position at the moment. Let's see what happens when how long we got to wait for the proxy statement.
There we go. Boo P says, Clark, you and Julie will be millionaires for sure. Ain't that right, Mass and Tony? If you listen to Morant's rants, they are all millionaires already, apparently. But in all seriousness, look, no one knows how this is going to play out at the end. Yeah, of course you could make a ton of money off of 100 shares of GME. Look what happened back in January 28th of 2020. People took the stock from 5 to 500 almost. So I saw it in real time. Clark says, but Tony, you're good at predicting. Oh, by the way, as people were asking about the vote date, we don't have a date yet. We won't get that for a little bit, right?
Statutory waiting period for Tranche 2 due to the, what is it, Hart-Scott-Ridley? I forget. I've made videos about it, but I can never remember. It's the HSR Act. Statutory waiting period is 30 days. So okay. I'm not expecting anything as far as a vote date or any news until after January 22nd. There is you can petition for expedited review, but I think that is on pause right now. They're not, the FTC is not accepting any expedited reviews. And the reason that it's 30 to 90 days is the FTC can request additional information, and it may take longer than 30 days. So just guessing, I think the soonest that we'll hear anything is after January 22nd.
Okay. There we go. Lico says, Tony, you still in CLNV?
No, I sold it.
Okay. Like 2 weeks ago, right?
I sold it last week. I don't remember. I posted it in the Discord. I sold it for a slight profit and to free up money for buying Tesla and Amazon and some other stuff that was looking spicy.
Okay. All right. Prometheus says, Tony, how is Scarlett doing? You want to give us an update?
Yeah, she is doing better. I took her to the grocery store twice now and to a movie this weekend. We went to go see Megan. Go see Megan, guys.
What
Her
were your thoughts?
spirits, we both loved it. She especially. If you've seen the previews, I think you kind of have an idea what to expect in the horror animated doll genre. There was nothing groundbreaking, but it was an enjoyable, well done movie with a couple of jump scares. And if they re-released a uncut version, I would go see that also.
Which they're doing, right?
Yes,
it's coming.
They say it's coming. So she's in good spirits. She's still in pain with her left clavicle being broken, but that's just something she's going to have to deal with for what, 6-8 more weeks.
That's a painful injury, man. That's
she's
not fun.
mostly just laying in bed all day because there's less pain if she's not moving.
Right. It's any little jagged movement will just seething pain, right? Yeah, it's a terrible place to be injured. Clavicle and collarbone, anywhere up there in this area, man. I remember so many times I've messed up my shoulders, man. Especially my right shoulder, and yeah, you just make a little bit of movement, and it is excruciating pain. So I know all about that. Well, I'm glad she's doing better though. At least she's relaxing, and she liked the movie. That's good. Everyone in the comments seems to have that saw Megan said it was great. Great.
I would recommend it. You know, if it was bad, I would tell you it's bad. It was not a bad movie. I enjoyed it.
Okay. On par with like Annabelle? Do you think it was like a little better than Annabelle?
Gosh, how long ago did Annabelle come out, Matt? That was 2, 3, like 9 years ago.
Was it that? Maybe it was that short. Yeah.
I don't even remember enough about Annabelle to compare it. Like, it's not fresh in my memory banks.
Did I ever tell you that the Conjuring house is about 5 miles from where I live?
No.
The real Conjuring house? Yeah.
No.
It's right down the street. Right down the street. Yeah.
I would say it's comparable to like the first Chucky movie.
Okay.
Remember, you know, that was kind of impactful and gave people nightmares about dolls.
Yes, about dolls.
Annabelle kind of did too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but I was having Chucky vibes off of it. Except this is this is a lot more well done because it's not a doll. There was a human actress doing the movement of Megan.
Of Megan. Okay, so she was pretending to be doll-like, but it was a
no.
human...
I mean, when they filmed it, the actual movement was a actress with a mask on.
Gotcha.
You can't tell when you're watching the movie. I mean, I'm sure they did some editing, but she did a smash up job of capturing that kind of doll-like robotic movement. But it's much more lifelike with the fact that it was a human doing all the movement.
Good. 2014 says Connect Tide. That's what I thought about. Almost 10 years ago now. Yeah, shit. It's been a while. Wow. Can't believe it went by that fast. Mr. Heedy, what's going on tonight? R. Baglio says, anyone playing HKD down to 1477? Thoughts? What happened with HKD this morning? It just dropped out of the sky?
I don't play plays once they turn the corner, guys. You guys already know that if you watch me. HKD was a great play on the run up to what did it go to here recently?
Let
me zoom in my hourly chart.
Oh my God, 65-7 on college football championship. Jesus, what a blowout.
HKD went up to $40, 37 from $9. But once it turns that corner, no way am I buying it. I saw people making videos. It's going to run again. Good luck, I say. I hope it does, but you will not catch me coming in on the back end on those plays.
You know, I watched something the other night. I think it was on Rogan. He had someone on that was talking about China and the one-child policy. Did you happen to catch that, Tony?
No, but I know a little bit about the one-child policy. What'd they say?
So apparently this decade, the 2020s, are going to be when their population becomes an inverted pyramid. So you're now going to have 3 or 4 times as many retirees as people who are able to replace them in the workforce, to rent apartments, buy property, drive the cars, everything. On top of that, that generation right now, that's that one child generation, they need to take care of their parents, right? That's a very big thing in Chinese culture, that the children take care of the parents as they grow older. So now, because of this policy that Mao put into place back when, the communists took over, and the one child policy, because they were afraid that the youth were going to eat the country alive, that is now coming back and rearing its head, and they are in like a lot of trouble right now. But if you think about it, it makes perfect sense, right? You go 3 decades with only having a one child policy. You try to have all boys because they are supposedly better in Chinese culture. They can take better care of their parents, better jobs, better paying jobs, and you're left with no women and a population decrease. And they overreported their stats by about 100 million. So the age range right now from about 18 to, I believe, 29, they overreported that number of people living in the country by 100 million.
Wow.
And the guy said at the end of this decade, they're going to be in very serious trouble compared to all other Western countries. And I thought that was interesting because, you talk about how you don't trust the CCCP and you like to really invest in Chinese stocks too much. And I get all of that. And I think people just need to be aware of where things are headed with China right now. They were almost making it sound like they can't afford to even take Taiwan because the sanctions that would be imposed on them, they're a mass importer of food and fuel. And if those sanctions that Russia has right now were put on them, they would be screwed. Screwed. They don't have the working population right now to take over all these jobs. And they know it. And that's why you saw huge walkouts last month, is because the people are starting to figure it out.
Huh.
So, yeah.
That'll be something to keep an eye on for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Hopefully I'm still alive to see all that play out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hopefully you don't get nuked before that. What's up, Dana? How you doing tonight, Dana? Chris Callis in the house. Good evening, Mass. I was wondering how many people would cash out of AMC at 30 a share or wish they would have at 70. Chris, going back right now, I wish I'd sold at 70. Not going to lie. I would have been just fine. I would have taken that money and ridden off into the sunset. What about you, T?
I think anyone who says otherwise, with the benefit of hindsight, of course, it would be disingenuous to say otherwise.
And I thought Dana was talking to me, but she was actually talking to Jeffrey Rocha. So,
I
go ahead.
I felt pretty good with the amount of retail engagement still into the end of 2021 and their huge cash position and the big focus on corruption, yada, 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 that there was still a good chance while we were in the 40s and 30s to get another bounce. But then we had the economy rug pull in November of 2021. So, hey, it is what it is, that I only blame myself. I don't blame Adam Aron. I don't blame anybody else for my decisions. And now I'm just stuck in a sucky market. But that's okay. Most of my investments are 5-year type timeframes anyway. So I know everybody doesn't look at it that way. And I empathize with you, certainly. But right now we're stuck in a market where, due to high interest rates, money is coming out of stocks, all of them. Mm-hmm. And so if you're still holding, and you decide, you don't think this company is going bankrupt, that it might be a longer hold than you thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless something spicy comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. And we don't know what that could be. I mean, we just had news the other day that there's a couple Russian cruisers and that are off the coast of in the Atlantic Ocean right now, carrying hypersonic missiles. You never know. All it would take is for something like that to launch on U.S. soil, and shit's gonna hit the fan. So just be ready for anything. I hope that doesn't happen, but you know, I wouldn't put anything past anyone right now. Everyone is desperate, especially China. And I think Russia's starting to get desperate too. And Ukraine's getting desperate. I mean, this thing is dragging out now, and it's just becoming a money pit. It's almost like Afghanistan 2.0. Okay. And we're pouring all this money. All right, I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm not talking. I'm not talking politics. Shut up. Shut up, Johnny. Shut up.
Wrong live stream.
Yeah, sorry. We'll do that tomorrow night. Darren says, Mass, when is Wes coming on? You know, I don't know how much Wes can add to the conversation at this point. I mean, what else more can Wes? He's put all his cards out on the table. I mean, you know where Wes stands and what his capabilities are. Now the question becomes, who's going to put up the dough to go do any of this forensic work to IntelliShare after me and Tony, you know, I've looked just for a little bit of information about what they've been able to come up with for any companies that have hired them. We haven't been able to find anything. So I don't know.
You know, he's just a 3-hour drive for me. I have half a mind to go down there and look him in the eyeballs and see if I can get a read on the man and ask him some questions.
Man, that would be fantastic, Tony, if you could, right? Yeah. I mean, what do you just off of just your first impressions? To me, he seems like someone who knows what he's talking about. He feels very confident in what he's talking about. He seems to have the 20 years of experience looking into this subject matter to know what he's talking about. And he seems genuine to me. You know, he said something in that space call I thought was interesting. He said it's a critical time to keep fighting. More progress has been made in the last 12 months by the apes in this community than the past 12 years he's been looking into market manipulation. That's a big compliment coming from him.
I think that's fair in terms of the millions of people who have gotten awareness of the fuckery that goes on in the stock market. Yep. Like this, hopefully whatever happens in this play, you guys realize that I said this in the Discord the other day. My general rule, and I made an exception with AMC. My general rule is to understand the field that I'm playing on, and I'm not in the home field, right? It's the big money institutions field. I try and play within their rules and I try and play with them instead of against them. I made an exception in this, and it's either going to be glorious or it's going to be the worst trade of my career.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
But I've always known that there was corruption and it's rigged, and you know there's shills and people, you know, pump and dumpers, misinformation. I've always known that, and that's always been my rule. Is maybe this will be a wake up call why I have rules, right? Maybe I shouldn't have made an exception on this play, but the fact that we have eyeballs on it and attention now, if people don't give up and go away, you can make change, but the SEC and the establishment don't change in any time frame that you guys are thinking it's going to happen. I want to ask you, how many years are you willing to commit to this? Because it's going to be multiple years, or you're going to have a major market event like 2008 to get the aha, gotcha, suckers.
Right.
If everything's just coasting along and nothing breaks,
yep,
you're going to have to make noise for a long time, because they're all paid off.
Yep. 100% T. Jenna says, so you're saying you would sell now if it went to 70? Yeah, Jenna, I'd sell like 200 or 300 shares. Absolutely. 1000%. Yep. And I told people since I started my channel, all of my subscribers, anyone viewing my channel, make sure you have enough shares so you don't have to worry about selling too late. Just dump them as you see fit. And now looking back at the opportunity I missed out on, yeah, this time around, I would sell a couple hundred shares at $70. 1000%, Jenna, without a doubt. And I'll hold a lot of the other ones for higher numbers. But right now, we get back to 70 again, I'm selling shares and taking my my money for sure. Darren says, Tony, go give him the eye. But Donkey Kong says, why don't you guys do what? Go ahead.
It's going to be Texan against Texan. You know, I can take a measure of the man just by meeting him face to face.
Yeah, it's going to be a standoff.
But you know, speaking on the phone or listening to him in an interview, that's not good enough. I got to see his body movement, his eye movements, and I imagine, you know, he's an attorney. He's pretty good at controlling how he comes across.
Yes.
But
yeah,
you know, that's the only chance I have to know if he's legit is if I meet him face to face.
Yeah, I understand. FTWN, not 70 mass. It has to be 700. If we get a reverse split, it will be 700. Let's see here. Robert says, Alonzo, question, Mass, how familiar are you with Ernst & Young? It's handling the accounting for AMC currently. Oh, Robert was the one who was talking about doing the forensic auditing earlier. So, Robert, what do you do? I don't know too much about Ernst & Young. I mean, I've heard of them as a firm, but I don't know too much about what they're all about besides being an accounting firm. I don't know much about them. T, do you know anything about Ernst & Young?
Oh, I bet he's going to say that they've had a lot of fines and corruption and people cheating on the CPA exam and things like that. That's where I imagine he's going with that.
Okay. Darren, have a good night. Take it easy. KYP says, well, I can assure you this year will be the last year for me. KYP, I understand. 100%. Just make sure you stay with the channel, though. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys remember to hit the likes when you come in, that would be great. Miss Tahiti, have a good night. Grandpa Barney says, Tahiti, love you, sis. Touche. Dark Latin, hey, ¿qué onda, homies? What's up, Dark Latin? Good evening.
¿Qué onda, way?
Trader Anonymous says, Juicy got you crazy. What's going on? If we get back to $70, I'm holding more because that would be the first time I've seen the stock go back to ATH from 80% down. Yeah, I got enough shares. I don't have to worry about that, Traders Anonymous. So I definitely will be holding some, and I'll be selling some others. Yep. Fidelity James Belock says, Fidelity just contacted me about borrowing my shares. Anyone's get you, James? Those emails go out to a lot of shareholders on different tickers all the time, depending on all different kinds of scenarios. Right? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, James. Just one. I think
especially when the interest rate gets really high, and they're running low on shares. They're motivated by making money. And if you've got shares and they can make a lot of money off of loaning them out, they're going to reach out to people. We always see this. Oh, GTII, they contacted me about my shares. People take that as because they sold millions of them that they can't cover. I take it as they're trying to make money while they can. Would you rather loan them out when it's 300% interest or when it's 3%? Of course, they're going to contact you when they're running low and they can make a shit ton of money on it.
Right.
They have probably a whole department designed to go contact people of high short interest, high cost to borrow stocks.
Right. Dana, I'm not trying to make you go to bed, but you should go to bed, though. It's way past your bedtime and mine. Jordan says, I was going to sell, but Diaz floated me some to pay off my credit. If you need cash, ask Diaz. Diaz, I'm looking for any donations you want to throw my way. I'm sure Tony feels the same. Wow, Dana. Something else. Let's see. Do you guys have advice for... Oh, boy. This comment section tonight is something else. You guys are going to see soon enough. It's easy to dream and be in denial. I don't know who's in denial. I don't know what channel you've been watching you got learned. You're not watching me and Tony, though. That's for damn sure. What fucking person on this screen right now do you see is in denial? I think you might be in denial. But whatever you do, guys, don't block him. I want him to be able to keep spitting his nonsense. Let's
I think
see.
I can't speak for everybody in the comments, but you have stumbled across the two channels, Massalorian and Tony
Dealing
Denaro,
with reality.
that are the most hated in the AMC community for not pushing billions of synthetics and catalyst of the week. These are not dreamer channels. We focus on reality, we focus on filings, and we focus on what the company says. Now, are we bullish on some stocks that people are bearish on? Are we in a bearish analysis on these stocks? No, we have considered the bullish case, and that is where we're at right now until something changes. Like, look, if AMC runs out of ability to raise cash or COVID-23 happens, I would change my mind.
Yeah.
But right now I'm seeing box office increasing, new revenue streams coming online, and the company has the ability to raise cash. I do not believe the CEO is in bed with the hedge funds to put the company into bankruptcy. So are there problems? Absolutely. We talk about them every fucking day. But these are not dreamer channels that you dropped in on the chat. These are reality-based channels, and we talk about the good and the bad every single day. And if you don't believe me, just ask anybody with a badge next to their name, because I scare the piss out of them on the daily with facts.
And me and Tony have been talking about fundamentals for AMC since Tony and me started collabing. We've been talking about this isn't something new for us. Talking about the fundamentals, in my opinion, and I think I can say for Tony too. The fundamentals were always going to come into play with this play when we got past June 3rd and those shares got dumped to Mudrick. At that point forward, we need to start talking about fundamentals. So from that point forward, I was talking fundamentals. When me and Tony started collabing, we started off talking about fundamentals. Go back and run the tape.
Also, we were not the people pushing people to buy at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks in May and early June either.
Nope. You came in after the run up. I came in before the run up when we were still at $6, $7, $8. So when we started our channels, we were not in that range. I was before the run up. It was right after. So we were pushing that nonsense from the beginning. So I'm sure you got learned that you just came and found our channels. That's unfortunate. But hopefully you'll stick with us now. Let's see. Trader Anonymous says AA would be the dumbest MRFer if he wanted to challenge us and be in bed with. Yeah, there's no way. Tony, what's your thoughts on that? Did you? I forgot if you and Boss, if you and Big himself
Adam Aaron
last night. Yeah, about challenging the hedgies and being in bed with them.
Yeah, look, I said last night, if Adam Aaron wanted to bankrupt the company and help the shorts out, all he has to do is not come up with new revenue streams, not meet with investors 3 times a week at movie screenings, not be on Twitter engaging with you, just fucking shut the fuck up and let it die. His actions are not the actions of someone who's trying to bankrupt the company. I do not get that argument. I don't.
No. His whole mission from the end of 2019 was saving the company from bankruptcy. That's why he's made all the moves he's made.
He's had ample opportunities to bankrupt the company if he wanted to. I think he's fighting to save it, and I think he will go. This is a prediction, Clark. I think he will go down before he retires as the guy who saved AMC. I don't know if that will deliver you in that same time frame the result that each and every one of you want, because dilution to raise money to save the company is not going to be great for retail investors in the short term. But I think that he wants to go down as the guy that saved this company and made it a long-lasting institution and the #1 movie theater company worldwide. I think that will happen. I could be wrong. That's just where I'm at right now. And until I see something different.
Yeah.
I see a man fighting.
Swan song.
I see a man fighting.
Yeah. Let's see.
Would you take Jim Cramer's job, Sufyan?
I'm reading these. I'm like, I can't put some of these up.
I have nowhere near. Look, Jim Cramer is a personality unto himself, right? I'm just not that engaging, Sufyan. I'm really, really boring. You get me out on a weekend with a couple drinks in me, I'm pretty funny. But to be that energetic and engaging and no, I can't do that on the daily. It's just not in my personality. That's the reason I failed at acting, Sufyan. I'm just not that good.
Me too.
I'm anyone who calls me a C-level actor, that's a compliment. I'd rate myself a D or a F.
You wouldn't call yourself a C-level actor? Come on, T.
It's just a joke, Massalorian.
Let's see. If AA did a share offering and wanted to raise $2 to $3 billion, how long would that take? Says Goodfellas.
If what?
If AA did a share offering and wanted to raise $2 to $3 billion, how long would that take?
Depends if he did. This is what Biggums and I were talking about last night. Depends if he does a private placement direct to institution, or if he does a shelf offering, which gives him the ability to sell at his leisure.
Right.
Don't know.
Yep.
Typically those things can be done in several months, but a shelf offering gives them the ability to extend it out as long as they want.
Yeah. I heard you guys saying last night that why would he correct me if I'm wrong, because I only watched, like I said, I only watched like the first 40 or 50 minutes of it. What you were talking about raising that capital, and as far as what they were going to do with that money, paying off that, I mean, do you think they'll just take a large chunk of whatever capital they can raise and just try to pay off as much debt at a discount that they can? Is that pretty fair to say?
They don't need to pay it all off right away.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
It probably depends on what price he can sell it at, how much they can raise.
Right.
And it would be, let's just say if he paid off half of it, that takes a big part of the target off of our back. If he's able to pay off half and put $1 billion or $2 billion extra in cash on the balance sheet, I'd be okay with that. If he were, let's just say, just making up numbers, let's just say he was able to raise $4 billion and use half of that to pay some of the debt off at a discount and put the rest just in the safety net of the balance sheet, I'd be okay with that. It's still, either way you cut it, improving the fundamentals. And they need a little more runway to get into 2024 to ideally, if things continue on the trajectory that they're at, to get the box office back to where they have a shot for operating profit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not looking for him to pay $5 billion of debt off. That's not on my requirement list. I'd be okay with paying part of it off and banking some of the rest.
And did I hear you guys correctly last night say that they had closed down? Did you give like a flat number or an estimated number on how many AMC locations?
I tweeted it out a couple months ago, Mass.
Sure.
It came out of the company, one of the company's press releases or financial statements.
Okay.
I don't remember the numbers. You guys have to go back and look at my Twitter a couple months ago. But I think the example I used was something like they closed 90 theaters, and they're still going to close theaters, guys. The non-performing, especially the classics, the dilapidated old ones, they're going to close those down. That's an albatross around the neck. As soon as the lease lets you close it, fucking close it. Lower those operating costs. But I think it was something like they closed 90 and bought 20 new prime locations from competitors.
That's what I thought I heard you say.
Those 20-ish locations were making more money than the other 90 that they closed combined.
Right.
That is what you want.
Yes.
Get rid of the shit ones and buy performing ones. That is how you fix this company. But because of lease obligations, you can't always do it, tomorrow. If you break a lease, what's going to happen? A commercial lease, they're going to come after you for all of the remaining lease amount. So he's got to make some decisions and negotiations with the landlords.
Right. And if he can get a big discount, I'm all about taking it with that money and paying it off.
Don't get your feelings hurt, guys. If he shuts a non-performing theater in your area, he's making a smart business move. That's not Adam Aron trying to bankrupt the company. It's actually him doing the opposite.
Exactly.
And if it has the word classic behind it, it's probably on the cut list.
Yep.
AMC
That's exactly
classic.
what I was going to say.
AMC classic, those are on the cut list. I guarantee it.
Yep. Julie, how you doing tonight? Julie says, I agree with you. I want to believe Adam is in with the hedge funds, but C. Clark has some pretty damning evidence he's digging into. LOL. Look, as far as being in with the hedge funds, look, if we find that out, there will be hell to pay. I mean, if that somehow comes up that's going on, I'll lead the revolution.
Me too. I said that I said that on my Discord the other day, and until I have hard evidence, and hard evidence for me, guys, is not somebody on Twitter or YouTube making claims. Allegations are not evidence. And I've looked at all of the stuff that people post, but none of it has met my test yet. I don't trust anybody. I'm not in bed with Adam Aron. He's not paying me. The second
I wish he was paying us.
Right. The second that anything were ever met my what's the legal term, Massalorian? If it met the burden of proof that he was doing something illegal, I'd be all fucking over it. But I'm not.
And I would sell everything.
Yeah, but I'm not there yet. And I see the things that people are upset about, but this is mostly, in my opinion, people that bought too much. They over leveraged at high prices. They listened to Trey and Matt and had unreasonable price targets. And their dream just got crushed as they slowly start to realize what you and I have been saying for a year and a half, that you shouldn't be focusing on catalyst of the week or clickbaiters are talking 500,000 price targets. Have a grounded reality view on this play. You sleep a lot better at night, and you don't wake up and turn on the CEO overnight and fall prey to all the people that are feeding these guys stuff. Here's this little snippet. Why don't you push it out and tell them you've got an allegation, but you haven't looked into it? You just want to put some ominous music and make it sound really bad. That's what people are doing right now. I mean, I'm not even joking. No one's backing anything up with really anything. They're just putting out allegations, doomsday music, and they're people that are in a certain emotional state are being taken advantage of, and they're all being fed by a couple people. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
They're being fed this information, and then they run to YouTube or Twitter and make a video on it. And it's not their original idea. They don't even know what they're talking about. They haven't looked into it. They're just putting out emotional, negative information. And I feel bad for them. I do. But just like they were susceptible to the clickbait on this side, now they're getting drawn into the negative clickbait. And it's just, it's unfortunate, but they should take a harder look at their ability to really dig in and do their own due diligence.
Chris, I'd rather see sold more ape.
I'd rather see them do a video saying, I got this lead on a deal in a Caribbean island, and I've spent 3 days looking into all 5,000 pages and 4 years of it, and I want to share with you my findings. They don't do that. They just post a couple of screenshots of a lawsuit and say, you guys should look into this. Adam Aron's against you. That's bullshit, guys. That's not due diligence. You're contributing negative emotion to a play without having understood what you're talking about.
DC says Al from Boston is really mad at AA. AA should be really mad at Al from Boston. Al from Boston came out saying he was a Harvard professor giving $1 million price target, and that there were 5 billion synthetics on the market. Al from Boston owns AA your apology, not the other way around.
Al from Boston is looking for cover to cover all the bullshit clickbait that he's put out over the last year and a half.
From day
instead
one.
Instead of blaming himself for all the nonsense and bullshit that he put out, now he's trying to divert and blame the CEO. The only person he has to blame is himself because he's put out nothing but bullshit.
Who's Scott Allen T?
He's a anti-AMC channel. What's up,
Andrew
Scotty?
says Scott Allen showing this live on his channel. Is that a copyright violation? I don't know. Is that a copyright violation for him to run
I don't
this?
know. We'll find out if you hit the button after we're done.
Okay. We'll find out. Yeah, Al is a friggin' clown is right. If I get comments about Al anymore, I just ignore them. I mean, the guy still has a problem with putting his face on camera. I don't understand that. Or answering a comment. And now Big Lou's doing the same thing. No comments, no face. It might be in person. I don't know. They might be. Who knows at this point? But another guy, though, that came around talking about brackets. And, that got a lot of people pumped up back in the day. That's why we had to keep putting him in his place, because that got a lot of people amped up, saying that there's how many synthetics are out there, and his price targets of 800 to 1,000, and next week it was 1,200 to 1,400. All of that comes into play when you look at where we are right now and the disappointment that seems to have found its way into the community.
Yeah, and almost everybody that's making anti-AMC videos right now are the people that listened to Lou,
to those
and
people.
Trey and Matt.
Right. And all gone.
Right? That was your first mistake, listening to those people. And Al, I should add him into that.
Yeah, he's the only one still kicking around. I don't know how.
Not for long. He'll disappear himself soon. He'll puff smoke. What is he? Oh, pop smoke.
Yeah.
He's gonna pop smoke.
Pop smoke and vaporize. Man, those two comments took on a life of their own the last year. You will never be me. You can't be me. Remember those? All those? Well, Lou, we got 2 channels down, 1 to go. Man, that was just to see the high and mighty fall. Shit. That was a rough fall for Lou. He was right about Ape, P, but nothing else. Right? What else was he right about? Nothing. There's no effing brackets. He didn't prove anything about anything. Mike Ginsler, Robot Godzilla, all that bullshit March 3rd, none of it fucking came to fruition except for Ape. That was the only thing that he was right about. And that was probably a fucking guess at best. Because notice, as soon as that happened, his channel disappeared. So, Al from Boston says, Coast, Wolfpack shit discouraged me from the community. Well, I'm glad you're back, Coast. Glad you're back.
Yeah, we did miscall Ape.
Yeah, 100%.
I will own that.
We have to.
I completely didn't see the amount of people. I didn't foresee the amount of big YouTubers, much bigger than me. I'm a nobody in the AMC community compared to like Meet Kevin or Matt, the reach that they have, Wrench Capital, to totally miss the point. They missed the whole point that Ape dilution is AMC dilution. They just sidestepped that. They're not accountants, right? But dilution on Ape is dilution on AMC. It's all on the same financials, diluted earnings per share formula, yada, yada, yada. We've gone over this 100 times on my channel, but they didn't talk about that. What they did get right is that with Ape being a dilution instrument, it was going to be attacked. I didn't foresee this many big people coming out against it and scaring people out of it. Oh, Lou also. Lou, Matt, Wrench, Meet Kevin. They rug pulled everybody's confidence, and then the shorts just capitalized on top of it. And I think big institutions said, hey, we don't need to hold Ape because our ETFs are only, we're only, the Russell 1000 only needs to hold AMC. So dump Ape. I missed a couple things. I missed foreseeing that, but I made up for it by buying more Ape the cheaper it got. And so I think I'll be okay as we go into the vote. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't get everything right. I make mistakes too. Massalorian's taking a bio break real quick, so I'll answer some more of your questions. Red Star says, I need ape at $8. That would be nice. I'm not forecasting it to go that high. I hear people saying it's going to go up to $10. I'm expecting, if I give you my prediction, that AMC will come down a little bit more and ape will go up a little bit more before the vote. That's my statistically, what's statistically most likely to happen. They'll meet somewhere close to the middle, not exactly. But you never know. Just not that much short interest on ape to make a big jump in it to happen. And I don't talk about synthetics. I just talk about the short interest I can see. They're shorting the fuck out of it. They were, but it was all day trading, in and out same day. Drive it down, get out. Drive it down, get out. The carrying short interest on ape is not that interesting to me to say it's going to squeeze massively. Gus says they were all paid off. I don't know that anybody was paid off, Gus. I've talked to some people. I've never heard anyone say they got offered anything or paid anything. I think some of them were young and naive at the time, and they got a little bit caught up with themselves and caught up in the moment and caught up in the movement. And that was an error in judgment. And they're probably not talking about it now because some of them were talking about it when they weren't holding the stock. I'm not worried about that. I have a position in the red. SEC can come ask for my records any day of the week. I will keep talking about it as long as I'm holding it. And if I ever sell my position, I will tell you guys. But I think some of these guys went away because they're not holding the stock. DevStat says, I'm 100% sure some of these YouTubers got a tap on the shoulder by entities that can make their life uncomfortable in a 6x block. 6x6. Yes. I would not be surprised if some of them got called in for an interview, DevStat. DevStat says, I'm 100% sure some of these YouTubers got a tap on the shoulder by we got an echo from you, Massalorian.
Yeah. Why?
6x6. Yes. I would not be surprised if some of them got called in for an interview. Do you have YouTube unmuted? Your YouTube?
No.
Tab?
Hold on.
Echo from you, Massalorian.
Oh, I know why. I was trying to listen to you in the background while I was gone to make sure I caught what you were talking about.
Philip says, do they add the price of AMC and ape together and multiply by 10? If all the votes pass, Philip, that is my best guess. Yes, the price of AMC and ape will be added together. Just like when they split the price of AMC, a chunk of it got moved over here to ape. I think that when the reverse happens, it'll just go back. Why is your live stream on Scott's channel? I guess, he likes making fun of people. KYP. He likes making fun of people and he has trouble coming up with original content. So all he can do, what's up, Scotty? Love you, brother. All he can do is pick up other channels and talk about them. He'll talk about a 5-minute video for an hour. Gotta love the dude. Clark says, Tony was saying that there's an argument to be made on both sides for the reverse split and against the reverse split. Yeah, I have not made up my mind, Clark. You guys know, if you've been listening to me for a long time, I talk you out of getting into reverse split plays. Most of them are penny stock plays, but I talk you out of getting into them every single week when you ask me about them. And shout out to the Mullen people. You got a reverse split on the table. Don't say I didn't warn you if the reverse split happens and it craters after that. It's a penny stock And the 95% of them will tank after a reverse split, especially because they have dilution on the table also, and it's a penny stock. I know I hate to say that, but on these penny stock retail plays, I've been right far more times than I've been wrong. I'll buy Mullen at 15 cents or 15 cents equivalent after the reverse split. That's when I'll consider it. But I'm not jumping in right now.
Proud man, have a good night. Catch some Z's. Chris says, I got into AMC for a short squeeze. Touche, Chris. Why didn't all of us sell at 70? Because we all believed it was going to be the MOAS. Yeah. I mean, we all held through that shit.
There was a lot of retail momentum, but going back and a lot of retail interest, sorry. But going back and looking at the chart, it's the same chart as every other retail momentum play. This one just got extended out a lot further. And that, to be honest, that was my first real experience in getting to know retail and their sentiment and all the stuff that is fed to people. Now I've become somewhat of an expert in it. And so I've been able to call a lot more plays over the last 18 months, a lot more accurately. But every single play, guys, everyone thinks it's the next AMC and GameStop. They always put up $1,000 price targets. They always never read the filings or what the company's saying. They always give you misinformation. And my goal is to help you not make these type of mistakes going forward on the next one, the next one. Get in early. If you don't get in early, let it go. There'll be another one next week. And if you get in early, get out early. Don't listen to anybody's fucking price target. When you're happy with the profit, get out. And if you decide not to get out, then the only person you have to blame is not not the YouTuber, but yourself. Everybody was new and they were flush with money in 2021, and they listened to people they shouldn't have listened to in May and June. Like Roaring Kitty, I like him as a role model. He focused on two things. He focused on the short interest that he could see on Ortex, and he focused on the belief that there was a transformational possibility, and then he got lucky that Ryan Cohen came on board. And that is why I don't talk about billions of synthetics or the catalyst of the week. What he had the recipe, guys. It's really that simple.
Comments. Coach said, can we learn from this AMC play so when we all get paid, the next play wouldn't take so long? Coach, I think a lot of people have learned from this experience and this roller coaster ride we've been on. I'm hoping it makes smarter, better retail investors. The problem I have is we haven't changed anything substantially with the manipulation of the market. That's my biggest problem. We haven't gotten squat yet as far as help from the goddamn committees, the House Finance Committee, whoever it is. GameStop was a blowover. They brought a couple people in. Ken Griffin and a couple of the people allegedly perjured themselves in front of Congress, and no one said shit about it. And here we are trying to protest now 2 years later. So I think we can learn a lot from this, but I think a lot of this comes down to really that we're up against machinations that are just out of our control right now. And I don't think for a second that a lot of the DD was wrong. I think a lot of the DD was good. I think just that they have been able to find loopholes, and they've been doing this for a long time. This isn't a new thing. The new thing is all these new retail investors and the retail investing apps using payment for order flow, all the things that we know now that are going on behind the scenes. And if you want to point fingers, you can start pointing in that direction. There's some YouTubers too, but mostly the corruption's not coming from YouTubers, especially the ones that own the damn stock still.
And that
I
still think that corruption and that willingness to go around the rules, that has been there for decades. And unless something unless the market implodes and they get caught red-handed, it's going to be around. So learn to play on the field. You're on their field. Learn to play within their rules. We don't every play you get in does not need to be a tilt the windmill type play where you're trying to fix the corruption with this play. There's plenty of opportunities every week to make money.
Yep.
Someone said, how do we find these plays? I kind of scour the pump and dump channels and look at the high short interest stocks, and I have certain accounts that I follow on Twitter, certain accounts I follow on YouTube that are what I call the pump and dump channels. They don't do due diligence. They tell you to ignore things. Oh, they filed for bankruptcy. Don't worry about that, guys. Ryan Cohen filed that he's going to sell a bunch of shares. Don't worry about, that type. Those channels can give you an indication early of what is about to get pumped. And if you catch it early enough before it starts running up, put a little bit of money on it, a small percentage, if you like momentum plays of your overall portfolio. Don't ever fucking load the boat on one play. That is just not good risk management. But if you catch those plays early, if I catch them early, I put them in the Discord. I wake up every day early, look at the pre-market, if I see something interesting, I'll call it out. And as I'm scouring my different sources, if I see something interesting, I'll call it out. But I give realistic price targets, and I give the warnings, like this is a play that's going on right now based on no news. So if you're getting into it, have a stop loss, or you can't take a bathroom break. You can't walk away from this play. It could turn down in a moment.
Yeah.
I don't do the $1,000 price target bullshit.
Never have. God, you know how many times I was asked last year about brackets and all that shit? And I'm like, I don't know anything about brackets. I don't know shit about brackets. Derek, good morning from the Philippines. How you doing this morning? KYP says, Mass, that's because Congress is corrupt as TF. They are in bed with Kenji and Vlad. Yeah, they're paying their speaking fees. So there's no reason not to assume that. Jenna says the hedge funds want you to vote no, so all those people saying no. Yeah, I mean, look, some people are saying no because they don't want to see their share size decrease. And I get that, right? I get that. That makes perfect sense to me why someone would think that. But if you're looking at this through towards to the end, if you're looking to get to the other side of this, then no might not be the best answer for us, right? We need to change something up. Papa Shack says nothing will ever change if we just let it happen like we have for the last 2 years. We need to stand up together and make a lot of noise. We just keep bending over, though. Well, me and T aren't bending over, and none of you guys in the chat right now are bent over. So not everyone's bent over. We're still trying to make noise. That's why I haven't sold. That's why I haven't shut my channel down. That's why I haven't stopped talking about AMC, because I still think there's a lot of work ahead of us. Prometheus says the corruption is coming from the shorts. That are the hedge funds, that are the market makers that control the algorithms. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and we don't have access to some of that data, right? And there's timing issues as far as when you're getting the information, how fast, all those things come into play.
I'm not as worried about the market makers. A lot of people talk about the market makers. Their job, guys, is to make the market. They're a middleman. The shorts can manipulate it. The market makers are there to make a market. They're there to end the day flat on their risk position. I don't know why people are so obsessed with blaming the market makers. The shorts can do a job on us just on their own. They're buying and selling millions of shares every day, and they're happy with 5-cent profit on that. You don't need the market makers participating. If all of us are holding, if 80% of us are holding and 20% of the float is trading, and all you're doing is you're an observer because you're holding, guess who's going to decide the price that day? Who's ever trading. And if the shorts are the ones trading that day, they're going to walk it down. That's just market. That's how it works. It's not difficult to understand if you think about it in those terms. Until people come in with real money and buy a stock, or a catalyst comes in that changes the direction, the shorts can carry the day. They have more money than us. They can trade it thousands of times a day. They can buy millions of shares at a time, and they're actively trading. We're observing.
Yeah.
Holding doesn't do jack shit except decrease the trading float, but they can still manipulate the trading float until good news comes in and buying pressure comes in. Does that make sense, Mass?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It's not really that difficult.
Yeah. I was just reading the comment, but yeah, I agree with you. The market makers aren't to blame here. It's not, this isn't their doing. Yeah. Yeah. If there's one entity we could leave out of this, it's the market makers pretty much, right?
Well, I mean, that is my opinion. Yeah. I know there's going to be some people really upset that I said that. And I don't like that Citadel is both a market maker and a short hedge fund. Don't get me wrong.
That's a problem.
But the market maker's job is not to be naked short billions of shares. They will get fucked. Their job is to end the day flat. No risk.
24, the money says, if there is no boogeyman, there is no AMC community. If there's no boogeyman, we wouldn't have to be dealing with any of this nonsense. That's for sure. There wouldn't be this COSM and GTII and MMTLP and all this other bullshit going on. Senator Longamat says 5% profit per share and $1 billion budget is a good day's work. Right.
Yeah, exactly. The shorts got all the money and the ability and the willingness to trade faster and more frequently than us. And if you're holding, they decide, not just the shorts, but the high-speed traders, whatever direction it's going, they will make money on it, whether it's going down or up. A high-speed trading firm does not care. They will trade it. But for what did 24 of the money say? The boogeyman. Hey, every fucking play has a boogeyman. Yeah. Because I watch a lot of them.
It's not just the AMC community.
No.
Don't psych yourself out.
Every play has a boogeyman. That is, you guys got to get smarter than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're in GTII or MMTLP, you know what I'm talking about, right? Every fucking play has a boogeyman to that community. You got to get smarter than that, guys.
100%. Javi, what's up, my friend? Let's see. By the way, I have a my next door neighbor is in SAG. He does set design, and he said that they've canceled a bunch of projects in the local area, well, in the New England area for TV shows.
Do you want to explain SAG for the non-actors in the crowd?
The Screen Actors Guild, which is an organization. It's it's basically the union for actors. But he was saying that AMC Networks, he's worked on 2 different network television shows for them that they've filmed like 90 to 80% of a season and then dropped them from their streaming platform without even putting them out. So again,
they're losing money.
People, yeah, I know, yeah.
I'm not in
SAG. Conversation I had like an hour ago.
I'm not in SAG, by the way, since I've never been paid for an acting gig. I did a couple of small projects 10 years ago.
Yeah, everything I've done has been I was never able to get in SAG. Well, you had to have so much. I forget what it was.
You got to be on a SAG project, and you got to have a speaking part.
Right. Yeah. I have never been on a SAG project. Yeah, everything's been independent. How you doing, Javi, my friend? CeeLo says, Mass, do you think the AMC is still going to have a run, bro? Yeah, we need to try to replicate the scenario that played out in the summer of 2021. What's going to take to get us there? We have some of those things happening right now, right? CTB's going up. We still have a good, strong community, and the people that are holding right now are diamond handing. And And as long as the community is continuing, or at least the channels are growing and the live streams are still bringing people in, and I see you guys talking in the comments, I know you're still holding, then I have no doubt that this could have a run again. No doubt. I'm just going to make sure I take advantage of the next one.
Coast, no, that was not me in Yellowstone, although I would die to have a part in a show like Yellowstone.
Have you watched that show, T? Yellowstone?
We've watched Yellowstone. We've watched, what was the other one? 1833. And we're watching 1923 now, or whatever it is.
How is Yellowstone?
Oh, we love it.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to finish watching Madoff tonight on Netflix. That's another thing. Let me talk on that real quick. Have you watched that at all?
No.
Man, this crime and the way the SEC just turned a blind eye to everything that was going on, man. They had to have known what was going on. They had to have known.
Was that the one that was like a 3 or 4 episode show of the reenactment? That is a couple years old.
I don't think so. It just dropped last weekend.
Okay. Well, I saw one a couple years ago that was several episodes, I think. And that one I found pretty interesting.
Was that the one where Robert De Niro played Bernie?
I don't remember. It's been too long.
Yeah, his ties to JP Morgan. Yeah, I know. Javi, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming out for support. That's a big thing, right? It's a big thing. Man, 1883, and I'm gonna have to watch some of this. I'm gonna try to finish before the next live stream. I'm gonna try to finish the Bernie thing because I barely scratched the surface. But I was in the first 30 minutes of the first episode. I was getting so aggravated just hearing what they were talking about. It was bothering me. I'm like, we're still doing the same shit right now.
That's how I feel when I watch Billions.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of hidden Easter eggs about what's really going on in Wall Street when I watch that show. Someone's asking about the options chain. I'm going to pull up the options chain while you're talking math.
Go for it. Mark N says, please learn options or something while you wait, says Mark. There you go. Angelina, how you doing tonight? What is going on, Angelina? Sorry, how to do big pharma info. What the guy in Idaho that took those people's life. Hi, Barney. Yeah, man, that's still a crazy story to me. I still am confused on how the roommate came face to face with him and didn't call the police for 8 hours. That something about that just doesn't seem right to me. I don't know. Alice says Bernie turned himself in. SEC ignored the books for 5 years. Right, Alice? Yep.
I'm looking at the options chain. I don't really see it loaded up to the extent that I'd like it to be.
I didn't think so. I didn't think we had a loaded option chain. Let
me increase the number of strikes that I'm looking at. Oh, okay. So if I increase it past $6 strike, it is more loaded up. That is true. For the January 20th calls.
Yeah.
There's a lot of open interest at $6, $7, $8. I think I have some $6 strikes. $10, $11. Yeah, I mean, if a catalyst comes along that gets it moving before the 20th of January, that could be interesting. Let me look at the put side.
Chris, have a good night. Take care, my friend.
The put side's loaded up too.
Is it?
Yeah. There's a lot in the money. 30,000, 29,000 in the money puts at $5, 17,000 at $4, 18,000 waiting at $3. I don't think we'll get down to 3. But yeah, I mean that could be a factor. It could be a factor. Got to have some news moving at one direction or the other to get those in play.
Yeah. You're a little nervous about Q4 earnings?
Worldwide box office was okay. Domestic box office was not great.
Yeah.
And then we're digging into the risk of a goodwill write down I say we, me and the CPA.
Mm-hmm.
But our goodwill position on AMC, we're at, with the write down that we took in 2020. For those of you that don't know what goodwill is, it's a item that the company has to look at once a year. And so in this next quarterly update, there's the potential they could do a goodwill adjustment, which could negatively impact the earnings. But we took a write down in 2020 when all the theaters were shut down, and our goodwill is as low as it's been since 2015. So I understand that people are worried about another goodwill write down, but I don't know. You got to look at market cap. You got to look at the contributing value of all the different entities that AMC owns. I'm not an accountant, guys. I'm not a CPA. So I can only make a rough estimate, and I'm not 100% certain that we'll get a goodwill write down in this upcoming quarter, but we might. But we are looking into it, and you guys know I don't just talk off the cuff. So once I get a CPA opinion, not a YouTuber opinion, then I'll share that with you.
Clark says, broke ape, I'm sitting here eating ice cream. I didn't see what you wrote me. Clark, what kind of ice cream are you eating? That sounds good. Ellie says, hi guys, was wondering how the hedge funds brokerage is. How you doing tonight, Ellie? I was wondering how the hedge funds brokerages can escape a real share count and expose synthetics when the conversion RS happens. I would like it all to be exposed. Your thoughts, man? We heard that with ape, right? That was going to expose something.
I don't talk about synthetics on this channel.
There you go.
That's my easy answer. Go follow up with the channels that are pushing the synthetic theory, because it just hasn't amounted to anything in the last 18 months. And I can't talk about stuff I can't lay tangible hands on.
That's what's killing me too. I can't prove it.
The fact that they potentially could exist makes it an interesting play. I'm not going to say they don't exist, but I can't in good conscience come on here every day and talk about that, because I can't talk about things I can't show you.
Yeah, that's a problem, right? And that's been a major problem, because some people have based all of this off the expectations there's 5 billion synthetic shorts out there.
I've heard 9 billion on some channels.
That's true. Al from Boston, I think, had 9 billion.
Where is your evidence for that?
It's on a spreadsheet
that you created yourself.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there are some rehypothecated, and there's always some naked shorts from a market maker, and there are shorted shares we can lay eyes on. But anything beyond that, guys, I can't talk about it because we have no way of proving it. Could they potentially exist, as Wes Christian and 50 YouTubers say they exist? I don't go by what other YouTubers say. I go by what data I can lay my hands on. The fact that they potentially exist make it an interesting play, but I don't wake up every day planning my trades on YouTubers' version of synthetics on any play. It was not something that Roaring Kitty ever talked about. It's basically a Lou creation.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
The layering too? You think the layering was a Lou creation? I saw Yuka was asking that earlier. Did you get to that?
All this fucking shit started around the time Lou came around, and it pisses me off.
Yeah. Yep.
But the data that we can see was good enough for Roaring Kitty. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, there was plenty of it there, right, for him to make that call. Yep. The Nook AK says Dune 2 should be a banger. I hope so, man. I hope that I saw that in the theaters, and I loved it. I thought it was great on the big screen. And hopefully having this 45-day release grace period where it's not going right to streaming like it did last year for Dune 1, plus having Dune 1 come out now and people have seen it, and just a beautiful movie that he made. What's his name there? Denis Villeneuve. There's actually 2 Cleopatras coming out in the next 2 years. You know that, T? He's doing one, and someone else is doing one. A Cleopatra with Gal Gadot.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a historical epic.
I like redheads, but I like me some Gal Gadot too.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Gal. Yep. Big fan. Someone said Ape Father should be taking this all in stride. I don't know, man. I would be pretty pissed off right now. I mean, he always blames Lou for costing him this play.
The only person to blame is himself in the mirror.
That's it. Only one. No one told you to buy. Divestar Omega says, latest tweet, just data on Randall Cornett. Yeah, I watched this thing on ISDA last night after Tony. Maybe it was this morning on the ISDA filings and them becoming compliant as far as the computers talking back and forth to each other with transparency. Look, I hope that's all true. I hope it makes a big difference, but it may take a little more time than we think, right? For all that to be implemented and actually see some results from it. Anthony Delaney says, redheads, thumbs up. Andrew says, Gal Gadot will put me in the hospital. Let's see here.
I almost always dated brunettes, Massalorian, until the time that I met Scarlett. I was dating 3 redheads at the same time.
Really?
Yes, like never in my life. And then all of a sudden, three at once. But
that's interesting. That's interesting.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. I always thought, and I still to this day I'm head over heels for some reason. All of my long-term girlfriends, blonde. Don't know why. Don't really have a huge attraction to blonde hair. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm a brunette guy, dark skin. But all blondes, all fair-skinned blondes. I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers. You need to come
down to Texas. We got a lot of good-looking blondes down here, my friend.
I want the brunettes. I don't want
well, we got.
I didn't settle. I'm just saying they just happen.
We got a lot of good-looking brunettes too.
That's what I want. Let's see. Yeah, Alice, the Liz Taylor, Richard Burton one. Yeah, when that was a big epic movie, right? Big time. That's another thing they were talking about with the epic historicals was the box office numbers they were getting, how they were just crushing it back in the day. I'd like to get back to that. Jay Yates says,
it was 4 redheads at the same time.
Really? 4 redheads you dated at the same time get in Texas? Wow.
One lived in Florida. I met her on that salsa cruise that you and I have talked about, and the other 3 were here locally.
No way. Is there a lot of redheads in Texas?
Where I go, there were.
Where you go, I guess so. All right.
The other 3, 1, 2, 3, I all met them country western dancing.
Yeah, I need to move to Texas. It makes more sense to me. There's a lot of blondes and brunettes, and if you like Latin, a little Latin flair, that's where I want to go. Right? I want to go to Texas, right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
The one in Florida was a salsa, and she was a salsa dancer, bachata, and ballroom waltz.
Oh wow,
she was
that's a wide range.
She was a competitive waltz dancer.
Wow, man,
way out of my league. I'm not a.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm a 2-beer country waltz dancer, but not competitive ballroom dancing. No, not my thing.
No.
Dan Man says, how is the knee? Thank you, Dan, for asking. I'm at 95% mobility, Dan. Working on
really.
You're
still impeded by that a little bit. Your knee, Jesus. Yeah. Man, it's been a long time.
I'm at the point that I can kneel down, like sit. You know what is it? What is it? Sitting where you sit on your heels. You know what I'm talking about? You just sit down and I can't do that for more than a couple seconds without pain, but I can at least go all the way down and sit on my heels, like to load the mini fridge or pick up a rabbit and throw it across the room.
Okay, so you can fully bend your knees back into each other. I mean, your legs back into each other. Okay, gotcha.
I can, but it hurts. Yeah.
Okay. So you're 5% away.
I'm not going to be doing any deadlifts or squats just yet, but I think that I could do some partial mobility squats with lightweight. So I'm 8 days now into my carnivore diet based on the members of the channel voting. And maybe later this month I'll get back in the gym.
There you go. There you go.
Go to Puerto Rico. My last wife, Fulana, was a Puerto Rican, beautiful, beautiful lady.
Keep that in the low. Tony, you're in Austin. Seaflow. Tony is in Austin, Texas. King says you better go to Lancaster, Massachusetts. You mean Lawrence, Massachusetts, King of Kings? I don't think you're thinking of Lawrence, not Lancaster. I think. I hope. I don't even know if there is a Lancaster, Mass. Happy World Carnivore Month today, Tony, says Benedict.
I didn't know that this was Carnivore Month, but I've been very strict on it. About 2 meals a day, and I haven't weighed myself, but I just eat when I'm hungry. It's 2 meals a day, and I haven't cheated. 8 days, very strict.
There you go. There you go. Paul says, Tony, did you look at NVCN and their past RS and what they look like now? Maybe that will happen to AMC.
Let me pull it up. I still have the stock screener up, NVCN, and let me look at the ones that I have on my video. I looked at the ones that were in the last 3 years. It was not in the last 3 years. So I looked at 1 billion market cap and higher in the last 3 years, but let me see what's on my screener here. Over 1 billion, under 10 years. NVCN is not on the over 1 billion list. What's their market cap? What is their market cap?
It is 62.27 million Canadian.
Okay. So that would be the under 300 million. Let me see if it comes up on this NVCN. Oh gosh, there's 800 stocks. 800 stocks that have done a reverse split under 300 million in the last 10 years. NVCN. I see them. Neovasc. They're up 206% in the last year. They did a reverse split on April 28th. So no, I did not look at them because I was trying to pick up companies that have done a reverse split. Okay, so that was April 22nd. That's in the last 3 years, and it's under 300 million. Why is that not on my list?
Because it's Canadian?
I'll have to check my filter criteria. I'll take a look. Not tonight, though.
Devastator Omega says Brendan Fraser made a movie about Lulu called The Whale.
It is on the list. It is on the list, but
it is.
My video is focusing on. Look, I do a minute talking about the penny stocks. 95% of them are down 95%. But the point of my video is not focusing on penny stocks because most of them are crap. The point of my video that's going to come out in the morning is focusing on the 32 stocks in the last 3 years that are comparable to AMC, big companies, over 1 billion market cap. And I think you guys are going to be really, really surprised. If you have a negative outlook on reverse splits, you're going to be shocked at the video that I put out in the morning. What happens with large cap stocks that do reverse splits.
1796 Patriot says, Tony and Mass, have you guys seen the Wall Street Conspiracy? If not, they're doing a sequel called Down the Rabbit Hole. Good stuff. So 1796 Patriot, I just put this graphic up a little while ago. And all of this is basically from that video. Wes Christian went in to talk about all the different things that he was seeing in the last 20 years of looking into naked shorting, rehypothecation, share lending, all that. I did a video on it last year when it first came out. I think it was called like the Wall Street Conspiracy Movie in under 15 minutes. But yeah, I'm well aware of it. It was off of YouTube for a while. I think it's back up now. Looking forward to seeing down the rabbit hole. That sounds good. Diet soda is okay.
In my world, it is, but I'm mostly drinking
Yeah.
water. I'm mostly drinking water and the occasional whiskey.
There you go.
I try not to do a whole lot of alcohol because, but
Sugar,
I
right?
am on. Well, I mean, it's not sugar; it's alcohol.
Oh yeah, true.
Alcohol,
It's not
yeah.
sugar. That's right.
But you know, if you're drinking non-adulterated drinks like vodka or whiskey, you're getting alcohol, which gets processed before carbs or protein, but it's not considered sugar, but it is still calories. But I'm not really watching my calories. That's not the focus of my diet. My focus is just cleaning out all carbs.
Okay. All carbs, huh? So almost like a.
I've had no carbs in 8 days.
Oh, you must be dropping the pounds like quick then.
I don't know. I haven't weighed myself. It's not.
Okay.
I'll weigh myself at the end of this month, but.
Okay. T, what time were you planning on staying up till?
Until we run out of questions or we get tired.
Okay. I was thinking of staying on for like another 20 minutes to do a 3
That
hour.
sounds good.
Okay. Nanook says, hopefully Hollywood will abandon the woke crap and just put out entertaining good movies, non-educational videos that we can all enjoy. Yeah, so Nanook, this lineup this year, I think is going to be pretty good. Much better than last year, I think. Honestly, I really do. I don't know for sure, but I think this year just has a lot more potential to have. We have the chance doing having a much better year this year, especially if there's a financial crunch across the country. Oh, don't go back and watch that video now. That was 2 years ago. You won't be happy with the quality, King and Kings. But if you can find the Wall Street Conspiracy movie, definitely go check it out. Wes Christian breaks down everything from what's his name there? Patrick Burns and Overstock. That's how he got on the case originally 20 years ago. So, by the way, Tony, do you know where Rogan lives down by you? Someone asked in the chat. Do you know where his spot's at?
I don't. I haven't seen him in a few years.
No, not since he moved to Austin.
Not since when I saw him, he was not living in Austin.
Okay. MTBR, good evening.
I saw someone ask about ONPH. I don't know what the story is on them. I see the chart where they ran back in 2000. Based on the chart, it looks like they've had massive reverse splits, but I don't see reverse split history on this stock. So I'll have to look into that one. I'll leave it up on my screen for tomorrow morning. This stock in 2000 mass says $984 billion per share, and it's now trading at 40 cents.
This is NVCN?
ONPH. Oscar November Papa Hotel.
Oncology Pharma. Wow.
Normally when I see that, you know, they have a history of like 1 for 100 stock splits, but I'm not pulling up any stock split history on that ticker. So I'll need to do a little more digging. Clark says, how low did I say Tesla would go? I have my bottom line resistance on Tesla around 69, 70 bucks, Clark, but it depends on what other news comes out about Tesla and if we get a market correction. If it falls below 70, look out below.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. That could be painful. I hope it doesn't. I mean, I don't want to see Tesla do poorly. I want them to succeed in what they're doing. I don't know. It seems like everyone's against Elon right now. Since he started this Twitter stuff. I think that's why he's stepping back a lot from a lot of this, is just to take some pressure off Tesla. Don't you?
He hasn't been in the news as much in the last week, has he?
No, not at all. Not since he dropped the Twitter files to Taibbi and Barry Weiss there. It's been a little bit since he said anything. Gigi says, anyone recommend a good live stream? I think she wants to say for a run up on stock. I've heard to look at volume when selling, i.e. AMC squeeze. Chat, trying to help Gigi out.
What are we talking about? When AMC squeezes next, or just in general?
I think she's just looking for a good live stream to watch during the daytime. I mean, Tony does tickers in the daytime.
Yeah, I mean, if something interesting is happening right now, I'm a little bit tied up taking care of my wife since she had her accident. But and I haven't been streaming as much in a down market because it's just harder to find good plays. But there have been more and more coming, and every day I'm like, maybe today will be the day that I go back and stream all day. But then Scarlett had her accident, and I'm spending my mornings still watching things, but having to take care of her also. So soon we'll be back to the daily live streams. Clark was asking about Smith & Wesson. Can I just jump in on that one real quick?
Go for
it. Clark, we talked about that a couple times. I like Smith & Wesson in the range that it's at right now, $9. So between $5 and $9, Clark, if you're willing to hold it for 5 years and wait for the next national emergency.
Wait for Congress to pass a law that says we're coming to take your guns, and then we'll go up.
Yeah.
Promise you that. Thomas says AMC will reach 84.32. I will be holding 100 shares for that price, Thomas, at least. Gus says, Tony and Mass, I feel like the only way to come out ahead on the split is to load up on as much ape as possible while it's under 150. It's like buying AMC on sale at Walmart versus full price at Target. Yeah, it's a good analogy. It depends on the way the vote goes. I mean, do you think this is already locked up, T? Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, the fact that ape is not moving up closer to $3 makes me think
that concerns me. Yeah.
Makes me think that the vote is not certain. If the market was certain that ape was going to be voted a yes, then I think it would be much closer to parity. So I'm trying to figure that out. Like, what the hell is going on? Why is it not moving up higher? Is Adam Aron selling? Just is AMC, selling the last 150,000 shares they had? What the hell is going on? Or is it just concerned that the vote might not pass? I don't have a good answer for you. What I can tell you is I'm not buying ape anymore at the moment. I already bought lower than the current price, and the lower it got, the more I bought. So I'm okay with where I'm at right now. And that extra that I bought since August, that is a swing trade position. Right. I have my OG ape that split for my AMC. I'm not going to do anything with that unless it were to run up to $10 or $20. But if ape runs up to $3 or $4 or $5, the whole point of me buying it since August was to swing trade that, and I will. But I didn't sell in the run up to 220. I thought it would go higher, and I still think it could. But I'm like you guys. I'm scratching my head. Why is it stuck? I don't know. $1.39.
Yeah, I know. We thought they were going to come up to kind of meet each other again. Julie and Clark own 3 Teslas, but they're a little expensive for their taste. Man, I would take one right now. I would take one Tesla right now. What do you guys have for Teslas? We already have all 3 models? King says, I think it's not moving because a time hasn't been put on when the vote will happen.
Could be. Maybe after January 22nd, when we get an actual vote date and see the proxy, maybe we'll see some movement.
That is a possibility. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel like for me, caution is is where I'm at right now in this play. Like I said, it's already, of all the positions I have, AMC is my largest. I have many, but what I've been mostly adding is things like Amazon, Tesla, blue chip stocks that I'm going to hold for 5 years. And I'm looking for deals on these stocks.
Yeah. You got it, Coast. I'm with you, bro. Granny Banger says, I can't believe you guys are still talking about AMC while kids are making thousands a day option scalping. Which kids, Granny Banger? Please let us know who they are so we can follow everything you do.
They tell you about all the ones they're making money on. They don't tell you about the ones they're losing money on.
Right. That's all I seem to hear is, oh, well, it's never the bad place, always the good ones.
I've done years of options trading back in the .com era. And then I learned that
you trading options back then, yeah?
I was in my personal account. I was only trading options and I was fucking killing it until I wasn't. And so I've learned to be a little bit more judicious about when I buy options. It doesn't interest me to scalp options on a daily basis. If I'm buying an option, I'm buying it because I think I have a reasonable greater than 50% chance of making 100% or more. I'm not trying to scalp options for 20%. It's just too risky for me.
Granny Banger says Noor Trades. Noor Trades is, I don't know if you've ever seen him before. He's like a 21-year-old kid. Oh man, he got exposed so bad. I forget whose channel he was on. He was trying to show how he sets up his trades during the day. And it wasn't CoffeeZilla, but it was another channel. I can't think of the name of it. I'm going to find it and put it in a video coming up. Noah Trades. I'm going to write that down. I got to show this video. We'll show you how many the options kids are making. I'll make sure. I'm so glad you brought up Noah Trades. I forgot all about that little clown. All right. We'll move
I never
on
heard of him.
from that, though. Most people haven't. I only heard of him because of CoffeeZilla. That's the only reason I know about him.
All right. I'm going to take a look. I like CoffeeZilla.
Yeah, me too. He's awesome about exposing all kinds of nonsense going on, especially some of the crypto stuff, and he's just very good. He's very good at digging into things. I've tried to reach out to him a couple times, to Steven, but he's probably busy as hell, man. He's got a million things going on. He's like calling out Logan Paul and probably just something he doesn't want to get involved with. Coach says, was it God Pill?
I've seen the God Pill, man. Gosh, that guy lost $1 million. Made it and lost it.
Yeah. And lost another 800,000 for someone else. Rocking them options. Crushing it. All right, T, how you feeling? We're about to pull up on 3 hours. It's 12:30 here.
I'm sure Scarlett would be happy if we close it up. I hear her watching TV. I hear her watching TV on the other side of the house. So.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna finish up watching some of that Bernie tonight. At least to get the first episode done, and then tomorrow back to drawing board. Right?
I've seen who is that? MT. I can't read that. Didn't CoffeeZilla call out Logan on the crypto egg scam? I've seen his thumbnails. I haven't had time to watch any of the videos.
Oh yeah, he called him out big time. A couple videos he's done on it. Yeah, it's not cool what these guys did. A lot of these guys are scummy, man. They're just really scary. I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes, I'm live too much. I shouldn't be making so much content. And then I watch some of these guys, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, what I'm doing is nothing compared to the shenanigans these guys. Alan, have a good night. Toast, have a good night.
Jeffrey Roche, the answer to your question, sir, is yes. That is the same person. If you don't believe me, well, you should.
Free Love says, how did you buy stocks and options in 2006? You used E-Trade, right? Back then? Scott Trade? What were you using back then? E-Trade?
I'm pretty sure I had E-Trade back then.
Yeah. There's only a couple.
I don't have an E-Trade now, but yeah, it was, I forget, guys. You're asking me to remember back to the year 1999, 2000. Pretty sure it was E-Trade.
I still have E-Trade T. I have 10 shares of AMC in E-Trade right now. That's all I have in there.
My son has an E-Trade. I don't have an E-Trade.
Does he? Yeah. Yeah, I've just switched over completely to Fidelity now. Now that I know I can go lit to the exchange, there's no way I would trade through E-Trade or Webull ever again. Ever. No problem.
I have a little bit on Webull for buying those pre-IPO low float stocks.
Yeah. It's good to have the account open, right?
And they have, as far as I know, one of the earliest pre-market trading. Like I can trade on pre-market and Webull hours before Fidelity.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, but I don't buy short squeeze plays on Webull. God damn it. I got E-Trade on the mind.
E-Trade. That's when Webull bought out E-Trade.
I don't buy short squeeze plays or things that I'm worried about payment for order flow on Webull.
Yep. Oh, Coach says, what a ride though. At least I found you guys the AMC journey. Yeah, man. I mean, if there's anything, we're gonna have a good community of people who are gonna be staying on top of retail investing for the future. And we got a lot riding on AMC right now. All of us do in the chat. That's why we're here right now. That's why me and Tony are on. But we're gonna be talking about everything in the market, right? We're gonna be talking about the politics that come into play.
And there's plenty of plays to make money on every single week. This is the problem though, that I talked to some people in the Discord. They don't have extra money right now, guys. Now your 5 year from now self is going to be thanking you for looking for good blue chip stocks to buy right now. But I understand not everybody has money right now. And to the extent that you can, and I also run into these people, they have kids or single parents. They can't work a second job, but to the extent that you can, now is the time to get a second job and fucking load up cash and buy some of these deals that are available. Because I think between now and March, maybe now in the middle of this year, we're going to find some bottom in the stock market, and then things will start going up as the Fed starts slowing down rate hikes and the economy eventually starts getting better, So don't give up, but challenge yourself to come up with ways to generate extra cash. Pay off your credit cards first. Get rid of those high APRs if you've got them. Look, if you're paying 21% interest on something, you should pay that off before you put it in the stock market. I think, my opinion.
Agreed.
But if you're rolling debt free or mostly debt free, get a second job and start putting some money in an account and diversify your portfolio into good companies that have a history of generating profits that are beat down right now because of the economy and interest rates. And yes, you're not going to make 100% in a week on them, but when the stock market recovers, it's going to be violent and fast. Some of these companies are going to come roaring back.
Yeah.
So have a good, solid investment outlook on how you deal with your trading. I love momentum trading. I love day trading. I love short squeeze plays, but I do not gamble my entire portfolio on it. No fucking way. And if there's anything that, over the years, as long as I'm still around and allowed to be on YouTube and still above ground, I'm going to keep on hammering those points home to you and helping you find those plays and convince you, hopefully, to diversify and spread out your risk, that whole risk diversified portfolio. For me, gambling on a certain percentage of my portfolio on risky plays is cheaper than going to Vegas, because I could blow 5,000 or 10,000 in 3 days in Vegas, and if I lost that much on AMC in a year and a half, well, it was slower than losing it in 3 days.
Well, 3 hands.
No, I play crap, so I don't lose it that fast.
Oh, there you go. That's my game too. You like the dice, Tony? Woo.
Yes, I like the dice.
Me too.
But stick around, and if you have money, we'll help you figure out ways to make up your losses, but you got to get out of this pump and dump YouTuber clickbait. I don't read DD. I don't look at filings. All these channels. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about. Oh yeah, well, they warned that they might file bankruptcy. Bed Bath and Beyond. Mullen, Mullen got $5 billion dilution on the table in a reverse split. Don't worry about it, guys. It's bullish. Don't you know they got the IGO car? 100 of them just got delivered. Come on, guys. You got to get smarter than that.
Yeah.
I know I'm not popular. You don't like fucking hearing this shit, but just, consider listening from time to time and weigh my track record against the pump and dump channels and figure out what works for your style. I think eventually once you lose enough money on those channels, if they even last, we've seen so many go away, but if they last, my record will stack up well against them and helping you get in early, get out early, take the first base hits, and just repeat that.
There you go.
Not every play's the next GameStop.
No, or AMC for that matter. We continue to hodl. All right, let me say thank you to my mods tonight, Prometheus, Diaz, and thank you guys very much for controlling the chat. I really appreciate it. Tony, you have a couple guys that you had for mods tonight?
Angelina ATF, was Javi on your channel or mine?
I'm not sure, but thank you to Javi either way.
Javi, thank you. Angelina, thank you. I'm trying to scroll back and see who else. I haven't been, since you were driving, I wasn't watching the chat a whole lot. Oh yeah, Javi was on my channel. Thank you to all the members of the channel for helping keep the bills paid. No, we're not paid by AMC. We're not paid by Adam Aaron. We're not paid by recruiters. We're not paid by anybody. But those of you that get value out of this and support the channel with your memberships, we do appreciate you. Yeah, I really,
Coast. Yep.
I'm going to be here, whether I got paid or not, guys. I'm sitting here trading every day. I got frustrated by the bullshit and the clickbait. And before I die, it was kind of decided, as boring as I am, my mission would be to share a little bit of the knowledge that I've learned, even though you don't like to hear it. I would still be here whether I made money on YouTube or not. Yep. But the fact that you helped me provide all the tools and the subscriptions, hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month to pay the bills just to do this show and do the live streams, it does mean a lot, and we do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. 1000%. We can't do any of this without you guys. And, we're a community, but we're also, trying to learn here. And me and Tony knows a lot more about this than I do, right? Tony's been trading a lot longer than I have. I'm a journalist. Tony's a retail trader. So we kind of use that to put out the best product for you guys to help you make decisions. But at the end of the day, every decision that's made is on you guys. And we're only trying to help guide you and steer you in the right direction to the best of our ability. And we thank you for all of you who have helped us keep this channel going and have supported the others in the community who, whatever it happens to be, I know a lot of you guys have helped out a lot of people that have been through some rough times. So I appreciate it. I'm glad that Grandpa's feeling better, Grandpa Barney. I'm glad that Lucy and this guy with diamonds feeling better. That's good. And let's see you guys.
We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Massalorian, thank you for hosting this tonight.
Thanks, T. They're coming on.
Keep an eye out in the morning for the breaking news on reverse splits on mega cap stocks. Are they different than penny stocks? Breaking news in the morning.
And CPI data tomorrow, right?
I think so.
Okay. So Tony's video and then CPI. Captain No Likey, everyone else, thank you so much. Julie Clark, love all you guys. Have a great evening, and we will see you soon.
Take care, guys.
Are you sure you want to end the stream? Tony, did you already jam on me?